We are live after a day of rain. The racing has returned at the Dover Motor Speedway for the running of the Duramax Drydene 400 presented by KRC, or live on KRC as we are right now. The raw feed is up and working today. We had issues with it yesterday, but live leaderboard is up and running today, so maybe it's a good thing. The rain ended up coming at least for your guys' content's sake. Now I gotta mute myself so I'm not hearing myself scream in my ear. But we are live. Currently under caution at lap 79 after the rain had started falling yesterday. It was our second caution. The first yellow of the day yesterday was at lap 40 for the competition yellow. So picking things up where we left off, we'll have a little less than 40 laps to go by the time they end up going green following this rain delay caution. So we'll go through the running order before they go green, just to recap where everybody is running following the rain delay from yesterday. They end up going. And thank you everybody for tuning in as well. Tyler Burbeck, Derek Booth, and a couple others, welcome to the stream. A little Monday doubleheader as well. Later tonight, NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 Busch Series racing will be taking place at Michigan at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As planned. Not going to be able to do the NASCAR 21 Ignition race later tonight. With this race going on right now, depending on how long this will end up taking. Give myself a little bit of a break between streams today. Okay, quickly the running order before they go green. Kyle Larson is in the lead right now. Chase Elliott is in second. Ryan Blaney third. Martin Truex Jr. fourth. Christopher Bell rounds out the top five. Eric Almirola 6th, and William Byron 7th. Now, when the caution first came out yesterday, it was sprinkling at the time. They kept the cars on the racetrack. They had open pit road. That top 7 I just named are on old tires. They're about 25 lap, give or take, older tires compared to everybody else from really 8th on back. And it looks like Ryan Blaney's actually going to hit pit road, and they are going under the hood of his race car. So already some issues following. So it looks like a major adjustment being made underneath the hood of the 12 car. I don't think there's anything electrically wrong with this race car. That they are just under the hood to make a major adjustment right now, and they'll have to restart at the tail end of the field. Major adjustments being made under the hood of the 12 car of Ryan Blaney right now. I don't think he'll end up losing a lap. So again, 8th on back, and I guess it'll be 7th on back with Blaney pitting because he was on older tires. So everybody from 7th on back will be on fresher tires by about 25 laps. Those drivers will be Denny Hamlin in 7th. 8th place is Alex Bowman. Kyle Busch in 9th. Ross Chastain rounds out the top 10. Justin Haley 11th. Chris Buescher in 12th. Daniel Suarez 13th. Brad Keselowski 14th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 15th. Kevin Harvick 16th. Bubba Wallace 17th. 18th is Austin Cindric, 19th is Kurt Busch, and Eric Jones rounds out the top 20. Corey LaJoie in 21st, 22nd is Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe in 23rd, AJ Allmendinger 24th, and Austin Dillon is 25th. Joey Logano 26th, Ryan Preece 27th, Michael McDowell 28th, and then Ryan Blaney will be in 29th following the adjustments made. He is going a lap down right now. Oh, no, never mind. He's not on pit road anymore. I thought he was still on pit road for a second. He is off of pit road. He is still on the lead lap, but he will be the last car in the lead lap following these adjustments. Cole Custer is the first car lap down in 30th. Ty Dillon 31st. Harrison Burton is in 32nd. 33rd is Cody Ware. Then Ty Gillen is 3 laps down in 34th. 35th is BJ McLeod 5 laps down, and 6 laps down is Josh Bilicki in 36th, which is last place. 36 car field for this race. Original scheduled distance was 400 laps. 400 miles around this 1 mile racetrack. Cerebral Assassin, NASCAR Fan 88, Big Graves YouTube, Derek Booth. I'm sorry if I say your name incorrectly, but Asias Z. I'm going to go with Asias Z. You have to let me know down in the chat if I said that correctly. Patrick Shadley, Christian Heidenkamp, Like I mentioned, Tyler Burbeck as well. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Cody Ware will win today. Cody Ware's the best cup driver. A couple agreements of Cody Ware potentially pulling off an upset today at Dover. It's unfortunate the large crowd could not stay from yesterday, but there is a crowd on hand still for this one. 1 to go signal this time by. The lights are off on the pace car, and they head to the choose cone rule. Kyle Larson will elect the outside lane on the restart. Chase Elliott will be on the bottom. On the front row, the row 2, it'll be Martin Truex Jr. on the outside, Christopher Bell on the inside. The outside yesterday in the first couple restarts between the initial start and then the restart following the competition caution, the outside lane was the preferred lane. It's hard to get going on the bottom. Green racetrack, though. All the rubber that was laid down from yesterday's race and all the activity that went on Saturday with practice and qualifying in both series and, of course, the Xfinity race on Saturday afternoon as well is all washed away. It is a green racetrack, and we will have 37 laps to go in stage 1 when they go green. Jeff Sperry, welcome to the stream. Welcome from the UK. Got it mostly right? Still got it wrong, though, from what it sounds like. I tried my best. Fans are on their feet as they work their way into the Geico restart zone off of turn 4. Kyle Larson will lead them to the green, and we are Monday racing in the NASCAR Cup Series. 37 to go in stage 1. Good jump on the outside lane by Kyle Larson. Quickly gets down in front of Chase Elliott into turns 1 and 2. A fight for the bottom for right now with all the rubber washed off the racetrack, as it is primarily going to be one groove, if I had to imagine, for the rest of stage 1. And the grid will widen out as the rubber continues to get laid down throughout the course of today's race. Denny Hamlin getting a little bit of momentum off the outside to make a pass on William Byron for 4th place. Hamlin has led the most laps so far in this race, leading 55 all during yesterday's action. He is the first driver on 4 tires and has already gained 3 positions in just a lap and a half. And he's right behind the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., and he'll run the middle lane. A little risky run in the top right now. No rubber up there, but he does have fresh tires. He makes it work, gets to the outside of Martin Truex Jr., and will complete the pass into turn 1. So Denny Hamlin now up to 3rd, and he's going to try to run down the Hendrick duo of Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Truex still battling tough on the inside lane. William Byron trying to run the outside right now on older tires as well. Christopher Bell on fresher tires is on the inside lane, right underneath them as they run side by side in front of Kyle Busch, battling for the 5th place position. Martin Truex Jr. still battling Denny Hamlin on the inside. This is holding Denny Hamlin up a little bit. Can't quite get the run off the exit of the corner because of no rubber. Finally clears him again into turn 3, and Hamlin could get back down to the bottom lane. Kyle Busch gets shuffled up a lane now in turns 3 and 4 as well as Eric Almirola looks to make a pass on him. And we have a car in the wall, Austin Cindric, and that will bring out a caution. And it looks like the 38 car was also collected of Todd Gilliland. So caution is out with 33 laps to go in stage 1, our 3rd of the race and our 1st on this Monday edition of the NASCAR Cup Series at Dover. Waiting for the replay right now. It seems like Todd Gilliland may have spun, and if he did, I think he might have backed it into the 2 car of Austin Cindric. There isn't a lot of damage on Cindric's car, mostly on the right rear, but it doesn't seem like the fender is bashed in or flared out any. Just a little bit of a paint scuff on the right rear corner panel of his race car. Fox now onto the replay. And it actually looks like the 2 car just lost it. He was on the outside lane in turns 3 and 4, and it ended up just kind of backing it into the wall with the right rear. I'm not sure what happened to the 38 car further back. And it looks like there was a checkup after Cindric had gotten into the wall and Blaney got into the back of the 38 of Todd Gilliland. Must have been unaware that the caution flag was out. So that's why Gilliland went for a spin. 2 separate spins in turns 3 and 4. Cindric lost control on the outside lane in turns 3 and 4. Backed it into the outside wall. And then when the caution had come out, Ryan Blaney had gotten into the back of Todd Gilliland as Gilliland may have either lifted early or Blaney was not aware that the caution was out, and that sent Gilliland for a spin. Gilliland did not hit the wall. He doesn't have any damage, really. Cindric has very little damage, but he'll be able to continue and stay on the lead lap. Free pass is going to go to Cole Custer during this caution period. So Custer will be back on the lead lap, just leaving Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton, and Cody Ware. The only cars 1 lap down. Everybody else from Gilliland on back is at least 3 or more laps down. As Fox heads to the commercial. Again, your top 10 right now with just over 30 laps to go in Stage 1 is Kyle Larson in the lead, Chase Elliott second, Denny Hamlin is the first car on fresh tires, and he will get another restart to try to get to the Hendrick duo in front of him. He's in third. Martin Truex Jr. is in fourth. He's also on older tires. Christopher Bell's on older tires in fifth. William Byron on older tires in sixth. And Kyle Busch would be the next closest driver on fresh tires in seventh. Eric Almirola in eighth. Chris Buescher ninth. He started on the pole yesterday, led the first 19 laps of the race before losing the lead. And then Ross Chastain rounds out the top 10. So yesterday's action as well. Again, Briscoe started on the pole. He led the first 19 laps, and Hamlin took the lead, led for about 55, and Larson has led since after Hamlin had pitted. Larson, Elliott, and a few others stayed out of the pits yesterday during the rain caution to not take tires. And I would assume they're going to continue to stay out until the end of the stage, considering that we only ran a few laps before the caution. I believe we had 5 green flag laps between cautions that time. Blaney dumped him. Yeah, a little bit. My guess is the spotter didn't tell him the caution was out, and he just was full speed, and Gilliland lifted because the caution was out, and he got word a lot sooner. That's what it looked like there. Good thing that Gilliland was able to save it, though, and it just didn't junk his race car. That would have been a pretty bad scenario. Fantasy lock up. End of stage 2 it locks up. You couldn't change your lineup completely between days. The 6 that you would have had in your lineup yesterday, you would have had today. But your garage driver is not locked up until the end of stage 2. That is still the same. 120 laps in stage 1 today. 120 laps in stage 2. The final stage will be 160 laps, being the longest of the 3. That may be a 2-stop stage, depending on how much tire wear we see today. It's a little bit warmer temperature-wise than what it was yesterday, about 10 degrees warmer at Dover, Delaware. The sun is relatively equal as yesterday, mostly cloudy day. So I don't think the track's going to be any more slick than what it was yesterday. Fairly similar conditions, even with a little bit warmer temperature. Outside of the fact that it is a green racetrack, but midway through the race, I don't think it's going to be any different than what it would have been at the start of the race yesterday. Sorry if I feel a little stuffy. My allergies have been really, really bad on me today since I got up this morning. I'm trying not to sniffle as much as I possibly can. I went to the golf course this morning too, and that probably didn't help because there were a bunch of guys mowing lawns and I had like a sneeze attack at one point. That time of the year, at least where I live, it hasn't been that bad until really today. And it could be worse. Like, this is not a bad day for me. Lights are out on the pace car as they enter into turns 3 and 4. Austin Cindric is not going to be able to stay on the lead lap. They're under the hood of his race car right now. So the steering column is off on the 2 car as Cindric had radioed in. And according to the team, it is towed out about 2 inches to the right. So he's not able to hold the wheel straight down the straightaways. That is definitely problematic. So Cindric under the hood, more damage it appears than what it looked like originally. Green flag back in the air for Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott got a great launch on the inside lane and will stay equal with Larson. That could be problematic with the outside groove not there. And Chase Elliott, despite not being the control car, will lead off of turn 2, passing Kyle Larson on the restart. Truex, who started third on the inside lane, or second on the inside lane, that is, did not take off well. He spun the tires and lost 2 spots on the restart. 2 by 2, most of the way back through the field from about 6th to 7th on back. Single file line on the inside with that first 6 right now. Chastain and Buescher are side by side for 8th. Chastain will complete the pass on Buescher off of turn 2. Nearly 3 wide, middle of the pack down the back straightaway around Kevin Harvick, Justin Haley, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They'll file into double wide by the time they make it into turn 3. And Harvick will have to drop in line behind Haley as they battle for about 14th. Down to 26 laps to go now in stage 1. Harvick back to the inside of Justin Haley again. This time he gets great acceleration off turn 2. Will clear him into turn 3. As Haley will let him go so he can drop in line in front of Bubba Wallace and get back to the inside. Ross Chastain to the inside of Kyle Busch as Chastain continues to move forward. Battle for 7th place. Stage points awarded to the top 10. 1 point per position from 10th all the way up to 1st gets 10. And then, of course, the stage winner gets 1 playoff point that will carry over through every round of the playoffs if they do make it at season's end. Chase Elliott has pulled ahead to about a half a second lead now over Kyle Larson. Remember, Hamlin's the first car on fresher tires right now. He is battling Larson within 0.2 of a second behind him for 2nd place. Hamlin trying to run a little bit higher of a lane, maybe trying to get a little bit of clean air and work that middle to upper groove in. Hoping that there's enough rubber laid down by the end of the stage if we have a long enough green flag run that maybe he can really use it to his advantage. Daniel Suarez making a pass for 17th on Ryan Preece, who is driving the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing. And Preece overdrives 1 and 2. We got his left side tires down on the apron a little bit too much. Wiggled up the racetrack in front of Kurt Busch in the 45. And Busch is going to be able to make the pass on him for position. Up towards the front of the field, Denny Hamlin has worked to the inside of Kyle Larson for 2nd place. Side by side on the front stretch. Into turns 3 and 4. Larson in the middle groove trying to pinch Hamlin back. And he will not be able to do so. Hamlin accelerates a lot quicker than Larson off of turn 2 and easily clears him. Christopher Bell now right behind Larson as he was not far behind that battle for 2nd, and he'll battle Kyle Larson for 3rd. Moments ago, off camera, AJ Allmendinger got squeezed into the wall by the 43 car of Eric Jones. We continue to stay green. A little bit of damage on the right side of Allmendinger's colleague racing number 16 Chevrolet. Losing a couple spots in the middle of the pack. They were battling right around 20th. 0.7 of a second right now is the difference between Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin with still 19 laps to go. Make that 20 laps to go in stage 1. 100 laps complete now, 300 still to go overall on today's race. If it rains at Dover again, rest in peace. I mean, it's cloudy, but there's no rain in the forecast today, so it should be all right. Fox going with the side-by-side view so we can keep the commentary going late in stage number 1 and see if Denny Hamlin can run down Chase Elliott to get the stage win. Hamlin does have a stage win this season. It was the 2nd stage at Coda a few weeks ago. Austin Cindric has rolled back out onto the racetrack, but he is multiple laps down. He'll cycle in just behind the leaders and is currently 11 laps down and last on the running order and the running grid. Bell is still battling Kyle Larson for 3rd as Larson's trying to hold on for the position and get as many points as possible. Larson trying to climb himself out of a hole in the regular season standings right now, and I say that because he's been outside the top 10 for most of the year, but after back-to-back great runs and a top 5 last weekend at Talladega with a lot of stage points, he's climbed himself up to 7th in the regular season standings, and still a long ways to go in the regular season, enough time for Larson to maybe try to contend and get back-to-back regular season championships. The problem is he's trying to run down the points leader Chase Elliott, who happens to be leading this race. So Elliott looking to add more of a cushion over 2nd place on back, especially with Blaney not in position to get stage points because Blaney is 2nd in points coming in compared to Elliott. So Elliott, this could be a big stage for him here if he can hang on to the lead or at least one of the top spots over the next 16 laps. Hamlin has closed the gap down to about 0.2 of a second, though, on those fresher tires. And Hamlin, even with the equal regular tires, whether they're fresh or older compared to the rest of the field, looked like he had the fastest car yesterday, and early on in today's portion of the race, that seems to be the same case. Goes up the track a little bit, maybe unintentionally that time in turns 1 and 2 as Hamlin started on the bottom and was in the dirty air behind Chase Elliott and worked up the track. Same thing going to happen again in turns 3 and 4 as Hamlin continues to just overdrive the corner a little bit. If he can just kind of back it up and settle himself in, he's got fresher tires and he's got plenty of time to get around Chase Elliott. Lap car on the 77 of Josh Bilicki comes off the bottom lane, more towards the middle. Elliott has to go a little bit wide to get around him as well as Denny Hamlin. That is going to cost Elliott some time down the backstretch as Hamlin's got a big run into turn 3. Hamlin trying to diamond the corner off, starting in the middle, widening it out and cutting back down to the exit of the corner a little bit lower, and he is all over the back bumper of Chase Elliott with now 13 laps to go in stage 1. Hamlin starting at the bottom again, driving it in a little too deep, going wide, and he loses Elliott off the exit of turn 2 by about a half a car length, and Hamlin's got to regain that momentum to try and set up a pass on Chase Elliott. Here's the setup move, running the middle lane through 3 and 4. That's going to carry a lot more speed down the front straightaway. Will he charge to the bottom again? It looks like he will. Elliott a little bit off the bottom compared to the 11 of Denny Hamlin as Hamlin rounds the corner off a little bit better, but Hamlin knows that he needs Elliott to make a mistake or he's going to have to flat out pass him on the outside. Chase Elliott a lot better through 3 and 4 that time by. And again, has gapped Denny Hamlin by a couple car lengths as we still have a battle for the lead and for the Stage 1 victory. Another lap car on the bottom, that's BJ McLeod. Elliott will have to move up to the middle to upper groove. And it seems like Hamlin is running the middle up to upper lane a lot better than Chase Elliott in the 9. Elliott's car a bit better maybe on the bottom than the 11 of Hamlin. Also doesn't want to give the bottom up knowing it might be game over with Hamlin on the fresher tires. Side by side for third between Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. Bell on the inside, Larson on the outside. A lot more traffic behind these two closing in on Martin Truex Jr. and Ross Chastain, who is up 4 spots since the restart. Chastain with a massive run right now. He's on fresher tires as well than the 19. Really, all the drivers that were battling there, the 5 and the 20 as well. Elliott lost the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Denny Hamlin to the inside, and they are side by side for the race lead. Down the backstretch, Elliott trying to hold on the outside with 8.5 laps to go in the opening stage. Will Hamlin be able to complete the pass now in turns 3 and 4? Elliott wiggles a little bit on the outside, and Denny Hamlin is clear off of turn 4 to regain the lead for the first time today. And for the second time in the race total. Kyle Larson continues to drop backwards and is losing valuable stage points right now as he has dropped a couple positions, lost it to Bell about 2 laps ago, and loses 2 spots that last lap to Martin Truex Jr. and Ross Chastain after Chastain took him 3 wide into turn 3. Gutsy move from the 1, got a little bit of maybe a break from the 5 and the 19, knowing they were 3 wide into the corner. A 3 wide pass at Dover for Ross Chastain. That was impressive nonetheless. It's a good thing the 19 of Truex is aware that that car was underneath him because 3 wide at Dover doesn't typically end well. But it actually worked out that time as they made it through cleanly. Chastain now up 6 positions since the restart to move up to 4th. Mike Johnson, C-Squared 24. Welcome to the stream. The race is on Fox Sports 1 today, for those of you wondering. After they went 79 laps yesterday before the rain came, finishing the final 321 laps today. Hamlin is quickly pulling away from Chase Elliott with the clean air and with the fresher tires. He's out to a 1.6 second lead and growing. Elliott is about a second and a half right now ahead of Christopher Bell, and they're on equal tires. I don't think Bell's going to have a chance to run Elliott down the final 4.5 laps. William Byron now within about 3 to 4 car lengths behind Kyle Larson for 6th place. And Kyle Busch and Chris Buescher as well within a second of Kyle Larson. But Larson's definitely fading on his older tires and on the longer run. A bit quicker than some of the other drivers who are on older tires like Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott. "60 laps led for Denny Hamlin so far today, after leading 49 laps on the season total through the first 10 races coming into this race this weekend. Alex Bowman's worked himself back inside the top 10, got around Brad Keselowski for that final stage point position, and now is all over the back bumper of the 17 car of Chris Buescher, who is side by side with Kyle Busch now as Buescher gets to the inside of Busch. Into turns 1 and 2 as they battle for 8th place. Keselowski still not far behind the 48 of Bowman, and Buescher has cleared Kyle Busch for 8th place. Bowman trying to protect the bottom. Keselowski drives it in deep on the outside. A little wiggle by the 48, and that might allow Keselowski to complete the pass off turn 4, and easily he does, and Keselowski will regain the 10th place position. Final lap of stage 1 right now as they work their way into turns 3 and 4, at least as far as the leaders are concerned. 2.2 second lead for Denny Hamlin over Chase Elliott. And the green-white checkered flag is in the air for the first time today. Denny Hamlin will win Stage 1 at Dover. Chase Elliott second. Christopher Bell third. Ross Chastain fourth. Martin Truex Jr. will round out the top 5. Kyle Larson in 6th. William Byron 7th. Chris Buescher 8th. Kyle Busch 9th. And Brad Keselowski will round out the top 10 in Stage number 1. Terry Lewis, welcome to the stream as well. And yep, we are back to racing. Only 4 Hendrick cars in the top 10. Are you saying, like, there are only 4? Or are you saying the only 4? I would assume you mean the only 4 because there is only 4. That makes any sense at all. That might not make any sense to you guys. Bit of a tongue twister. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 50 people watching right now and only 8 likes. So definitely smash the like button. The goal today is 100. I think we could easily get there. Thanks for tuning in on a Monday afternoon nonetheless as well. I don't know if this is better or worse for the channel. Doing the live commentary when the races are on Monday. Maybe some of you guys are at work or have class of some sort and you're listening. I greatly appreciate it. Imagine Hendrick cars get all in the top 5. Just like JRM did Saturday. Well, remember, Hendrick Motorsports last season at Dover finished 1 through 4. It was the first time in NASCAR history that has happened, where a team finished 1 through 4 in the running order. They're definitely strong today as a whole, but Denny Hamlin looks to be tough to beat. Really, the Toyotas as a whole are also giving a little bit of a fight to the Hendrick Chevrolets today, because all 4 Hendrick Chevys finished in the top 11, but all 4 Joe Gibbs Toyotas finished in the top 9 in that stage, including 3 of the JGR Toyotas in the top 5. Denny Hamlin first, Christopher Bell third, and Martin Truex Jr. in 5th. Remember, Truex had actually qualified 18th, so he gained a lot of track position after staying out of the pits, and he was able to hold on to a top 5 stage finish. So that was a very, very crucial performance there. So it doesn't seem like 25 lap old tires is a big difference. I would say Kyle Larson was probably the worst of the drivers on older tires, but he still finished in 6th place. He only lost a few positions he restarted in the lead. So I guess he lost 5 positions, but still ended up finishing middle of the top 10, scored decent stage points in stage 1. And I would imagine that the whole field will be coming onto pit road when pit road opens this time during the stage 1 break. Everybody will have to make a pit stop in the second stage at some point in time. And then in the final stage, it is at least a 1-stopper, maybe a 2-stop race, depending on how much tire degradation there is. Right now, for 25 laps, it's not too bad. I think Denny Hamlin overall just has a really fast race car, and the fresher tires only enhance that. So Hamlin will lead the entire field onto pit road. It doesn't look like anybody is going to be staying out to try and gain some track position. Definitely going to be 4 tires for all those who stayed out during the rain caution yesterday. It does look like some of the drivers who took 4 tires during the rain caution are also taking 4 right now, including Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin, the race leader. Hamlin launches off of pit road with a really good stop, and it's looking like he is going to win the race off of pit road with ease. Oh, and a tire comes off of Hamlin's race car as he exits pit road. They did not get the left rear lug nut secured. It rolls off of Hamlin's race car as he crossed the commitment line. And that is a costly penalty for Denny Hamlin. And it's actually the left front, not the left rear. I believe it is Denny Hamlin's. It looked like it. Yep, it is Denny Hamlin as they have the close-up shot. More pit road blunders for Denny Hamlin this season. And this time it was not his fault. Drama early on in stage number 2. Denny Hamlin's left front tire has come apart. Well, it's just come off the car. They just didn't get the lug nuts secured. He didn't even make it off of pit road. And it already came apart. Not sure how much damage that's going to end up costing the underbody of the race car with it driving on the rim, but that is definitely going to hurt. Regardless of the fact he's going to lose all the track position and be restarting outside the top 30. And that is also going to mean that his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, is going to be suspended likely for the next 4 races. Gabehart, one of the best crew chiefs in the game. As well as the front tire changer is likely going to get suspended for the next 4 days. Or 4 races, excuse me. I don't know if that includes the All-Star race. I would assume it's the next 4 points races. So probably through the Coke 600. Yeah, you can definitely tell the crew member was very upset about it. More in a depressed way than an angry way. He just had his head down like, oh, what'd I just do? I was going to say, Denny Hamlin had a super fast pit stop. He was light years out ahead of everybody else, and that would make sense because the lug nut was not secured on the left side. If they just would have taken an extra half a second, he still would have won the race off pit road with ease, and definitely hurt. And now this race is wide open. And I believe Ross Chastain would have been second off of pit road with a fast stop himself, and the one team who restarted in 10th when they went green at lap 84, at lap 125, is now in the lead with equally fresh 4 tires on his race car. So Chastain in the lead. Christopher Bell second. Martin Truex Jr. was third off of pit road. Chase Elliott was fourth. And then William Byron rounded out the top 5 off of pit road. Chris Buescher in 6th. Kyle Busch 7th. Kyle Larson in 8th. Brad Keselowski 9th. And Alex Bowman back inside the top 10, rounding it out in the top 10. So Hamlin is going to be back in the 29th position. Ty Dillon got the free pass during the stage break. So Harrison Burton and Cody Ware will restart stage 2 as the only drivers 1 lap down, and Ty Dillon on back 3 down. Austin Cindric has pulled behind the garage again, or pulled behind the pit wall this time. He went back out on the racetrack at 11 laps down, but he has now scored 34 laps down. So my guess is they did not fix the towing issue after he had backed into the outside wall. So you can definitely tell that the lug nut was not secured correctly, and they're showing the replay right now of Denny Hamlin, and I don't think the tire changer even knew that it was secured. The jack man had dropped the jack for Denny Hamlin to go. That's the cue for the driver to take off out of the pit box. And it almost looked like the tire changer was trying to say, wait, hold up, while Denny Hamlin was pulling off of pit road as if he didn't have the tire secured correctly. So the jack man, I think, may have actually been more of the problem than the actual tire changer itself, as he just dropped the jack a little bit too early. So the left front was not all the way on. So that will be an uncontrolled tire penalty for Denny Hamlin. It's got to be deflating even if they come back to win this race, knowing that Gabehart is likely not going to be on the pit box for the next 4 weeks. And he's going to have maybe a little earlier of an all-star break. Michelle Marie Cave Miller, welcome into the stream as well. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. We have currently, let me refresh the page, about 72 people watching the stream right now. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Only 13 likes. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Do the live race commentary every weekend. I'm not at the actual racetrack. So the next few weeks, we will be doing the live commentary for the Cup races. Next weekend at Darlington, we'll be live at about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, on Mother's Day. And the following Sunday is actually at Kansas, and then the All-Star race. But we will be live for all of those races. I'll be at the Indy 500, so the Coke 600 race weekend will be the next weekend. I will be at a race, I guess, of some sort that I will not be able to give you guys the live commentary. But we do this every weekend, as well as video game live commentary races like you're hearing today. That same commentary on the video game side to fill in during the week, as well as the predictions and post-race analysis videos as well on the side. We will have a post-race following today's live stream. Well, at the end of this race, during this live stream for about a half hour, we'll talk all things NASCAR Fantasy, my predictions from yesterday, and how all that shook out as well. And you guys will get to listen in on driver interviews, not only throughout the course of the race today, if we have any, but as well at the end of the race as well. Green flag back in the air. Ross Chastain elected the outside, as we'll probably see all throughout the course of the day today. Christopher Bell was the first driver on the inside lane, and Chastain will easily pull clear in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Martin Truex Jr. restarted second car on the outside, also clears Christopher Bell off turn 2. Buescher looks to the inside of Bell. Bell thought about throwing a block, couldn't do it. Bell is sideways in the middle of turns 3 and 4 now in the outside groove, and Christopher Bell, after restarting first car on the inside lane, is back to 5th after lap 1. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to make a pass way down to the inside on the 48 car of Alex Bowman on the front stretch into turns 1 and 2, fighting him to the inside. Chris Buescher right back up to 3rd place after restarting in 6th. Kyle Busch getting around Christopher Bell as well. I wonder if Bell has a problem. Maybe his tire is not secured tightly, because he is losing a ton of positions right now. He is already falling outside of the top 10 and still free falling as Stenhouse and Harvick get by to the outside 3 wide. Bell is slow on the back straightaway. So another JGR Toyota that was running in the top 5 at the end of stage 1 is now going to have to pull into the pits. But this is under a green flag condition, so although Hamlin was able to stay on the lead lap and had to restart at the back of the field, Bell's going to have to make his pit stop under green. So problems for Christopher Bell in the 20. Sounded like a tire on the rear of his race car that was not secured tightly, but no penalty for Bell. The tire was able to stay on. I guess his penalty is the fact that he is going to lose at least 1 lap on the racetrack. Dover is only a 1-mile racetrack, though, so he may lose a 2nd lap as well. Ross Chastain has about a half a second lead over Martin Truex Jr. since the restart, maintaining that gap right now. Chris Buescher looks to be the fast car outside of the race leader since the restarts. He closes on Martin Truex Jr. for 2nd at about 0.8 of a second off the race lead. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back inside the top 10. 3 wide into turn 3. Hamlin on the outside trying to make up a bunch of positions in the middle of the pack on Joey Logano and Bubba Wallace just outside the top 20. I don't think that car's got much damage to the underbody, considering the fact that Hamlin is rocketing up. So Hamlin is already up to 23rd after restarting in 30th. But he would have been at the tail end of the longest line because it was a penalty. So he's passed even more cars than that when you include the lap cars as well. Truex is starting to slowly run down Ross Chastain as well after Chastain was able to take the lead after Hamlin's pit road penalty under the stage break and got a great launch on the restart. Martin Truex Jr. followed him on the outside lane, and now he is following him up towards the front of the field. Truex is one of the must-have picks in yesterday's predictions video. Or, well, it wasn't a video. It was on the live stream because we were live streaming the race this weekend. And Chris Buescher as well, again, hanging in there and closing in. Chase Elliott back at 4th, though, is not able to keep up with the top 3 and is already just over 2 seconds off the race lead of Ross Chastain. Fox going to a commercial break, so we'll take a rundown of the order right now. Ross Chastain is the race leader by 0.3 of a second over Martin Truex Jr. 0.9 of a second off the lead is Chris Buescher in 3rd. Chase Elliott is 2.1 seconds off the lead in 4th, and Kyle Busch rounds out the top 5 at 2.6 seconds off the race lead. William Byron is 3.3 seconds off the lead in 6th. Kyle Larson is in 7th, 3.6 seconds off the lead. In 8th place is Brad Keselowski at 4.3 seconds off the lead. Kevin Harvick is in 9th, 4.7 seconds off the lead. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. rounds out the top 10 at 5.9 seconds off the race lead. So that is the top 10 right now in stage number 2. Stage 1 winner was Denny Hamlin. He's led 67 laps today. He had a pit road penalty with an uncontrolled tire. He did not get the left front tire secured tightly, and before he even made his way off of pit road, that tire came off. So penalties will likely be handed out, fines to that number 11 team middle of the week. Nicole Wembley, welcome to the stream. Any wrecks yet? Austin Cindric backed it into the outside wall for a caution about 5 laps after I almost said the conclusion. After they went green following the rain caution from yesterday, he is out of the race right now. He pulled back out onto the racetrack, but they had a towing issue where the steering column was off about 2 inches, and because of that, he had to pull behind the pit wall into the garage. So Cindric is done for right now. He's 49 laps down and counting. And then everybody else is on the racetrack, the top 29 on the lead lap, and then positions 30th through 32nd, where Christopher Bell's at, are 1 lap down. Bell also had a loose tire on the restart following the stage 2 break, but he did not have his tire come off, so no penalties will be given out to that team, but he did have to come back down. His penalty is simply the fact that he ended up going a lap down, having to make an unscheduled green flag pit stop. Both Bell and Hamlin were in the top 5. Again, Hamlin won stage 1, and Christopher Bell was 3rd at the end of stage 1, so both of their chances of trying to win this race are definitely taking a hit midway through today's action. Definitely like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Just over 80 people watching, only 17 likes. So again, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Do live commentary for the real races on the race weekend like you're seeing here today, as well as live realistic commentary for video game races during the week, all in the hopes of hopefully one day getting into the commentating booth for real NASCAR races down the road. Appreciate your support as always. And this year has been great, really, with the channel so far. We did only 12 races last year. Up the ante a little bit this year. Scheduled to do 22. Probably add a couple more on there. We weren't originally supposed to do this race this weekend, but I threw it on last minute. My Sunday became a little bit more available. I was going to watch the race with my grandparents, but ended up here. And with the rain date, I guess I would have ended up here anyway. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in and giving me the support. Always appreciate it. During the commercial break, Chris Buescher has lost a little bit of his pace compared to the top 2, as he's 2.4 seconds off the lead now. One thing that I noticed yesterday at the start of the race when he led the first 19 laps, as soon as he lost the lead, he started dropping backwards as well. So I think Buescher's car is more on the trimmed out short run side of things, and which is another reason why he may have qualified on the pole as well. And as the long run continues, he tends to fall backwards, because he did fall to about 8th place yesterday before the rain caution as well. He still remains in 3rd for the time being, but we are a little less than 20 laps into stage 2 as far as green flag laps go. They are racing to lap 240 to the end of stage 2. And again, they will have to make 1 pit stop in this stage. Sorry, 130 laps in this stage, so they're actually racing to lap 250. No rain scheduled, so not like they're only racing to halfway in this one, and any lap could be the final lap. They will get to the 400-mile marker in today's race. Justin Haley still hanging on to a strong run in 12th. He had his best finish of the season last year in that 12th place finish at Talladega, but not at Super Speedway today. They picked up the pace. Been a lot of bad luck for the Colleague Racing number 31 team this year, and even the 16 team for that matter too. That is a chartered team, but filled in with part-time drivers this season. I think Noah Gregson's supposed to run a couple races later this year, and then AJ Allmendinger and Daniel Hemrick have been splitting the duties so far this season. Is Kaz Grala supposed to run in that car at all throughout the season as well? You have to let me know down in the chat. I can't remember if he's supposed to be in that car a couple times this year also or not. Allmendinger's up to 15th right now, so he's definitely picked up a lot of positions. He started outside the top 20. It was running about 25th, if I remember correctly, during the rain caution from yesterday. So he's up about 10 spots overall today in about 50 or so laps. Brad Keselowski continues to move forward right now up to the 8th place position, gaining even a couple spots since the restart. A little bit of a gap right now before he catches Kyle Larson for 7th, if he does have the speed to catch him. And both RFK cars are running 3rd and 8th total right now. They were both on my don't-haves this weekend. They're making me look bad right now. Still have a long ways to go. Something could happen that, maybe their cars aren't as good in the second half of the race. Busch's car seems to be a lot better in the short run than the long run, so if we get a super long run, maybe he'll start to fall backwards a little bit. But right now, it's looking like I may be wrong with both the don't-have predictions this weekend. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has to be the driver of the race weekend so far, considering he's in the back half of the top 10. He has not scored a top 10 yet this season. In fact, was outside the top 30 in points. He was 31st in the driver standings coming into this race today. By far the worst season of his Cup Series career statistically, at least for the first 10 races, and they have picked it up big time today, at least early on. Again, we are just shy of the halfway mark. Yet, so still a ways to go yet at Dover. One car is blowing smoke and has spun Kyle Larson into the inside wall off of turn 4. Another driver who is in the top 5 that has had some sort of an issue, and it looks like he has a flat right front tire. Right rear is also flat, but I think maybe the right front was flat because of the spin, and he flat spotted it. The right rear is down to the rim. And the right front tire is really flapping and may put a hole in the right front fender if he's not careful nursing it back to pit road. Larson lost control in the middle of turns 3 and 4, slid up the racetrack, saved it from hitting the outside wall, and I think he may have actually saved it from hitting the inside wall as well, but he definitely flat spotted both of his right side tires. And both tires seemed to have blown after he had locked it down. He did back it into the outside or the inside wall just a tad with the right rear corner panel. He should be all right as long as he makes it back to pit road, but he may lose a lap here because it's going to take some time to jack up the right side of the race car with both tires down on the rim. So Kyle Larson was running, I believe, in 6th at the time, but was in the top 5 for a large portion of today's action. And heavy damage now to the right front as the right front tire has just tore apart the fender of that race car. They're going to have to duct tape that back together, and he may lose more than one lap. 3 drivers that were in the top 6 at the end of stage 1 are now having some sort of an issue. Denny Hamlin's still back in 19th after his tire came off. Kyle Larson just flat out lost control in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He was on the bottom lane. It just looked like he lost it in the middle of the corner. Stepped a little bit over the edge and middle of the spin, he flat spotted the tires, and that's the price you pay though when you do step over the edge, that you're at risk of blowing a tire. Championship hangover season for Larson. He's still 7th in points this year. He's having a good season. He's not looking like the championship favorite right now by any means, but he's having a good season. I'd put him in the top 10 of the power rankings. He's got 5 top 5s this season. I think that's second most, only behind Chastain. So he just doesn't have as many wins as last year. Remember, it was when we got to Dover last season before he picked up his second win of the season. He only had 1 to this point last year, too. I'm not saying he's going to rattle off 9 more before the end of the season. Long season still to go as well. But this is going to cost Kyle Larson. They've duct taped the right front. Looking at the leaderboard right now, Kyle Larson has scored 2 laps down. So it looks like Kyle Larson has lost 2 laps after the spin. Pit road is still closed, cleaning up some debris from Kyle Larson's tire coming apart on the inside of the track on the back straightaway. Once all that gets cleaned up, pit road will open, and we will likely see at least some drivers pit. Ran about 30 laps, maybe a little less than 30 laps. So we're at about the same, really, lap marker, roughly, as what we were when drivers had pitted for tires yesterday during the rain caution, and we saw a few stay out. So I think if there are faster drivers middle of the pack right now that feel they have the speed if they can get track position, those guys will likely stay out. And I think we're going to see everybody at the front of the field pit, if I had to imagine. Stephen McPeak, welcome to the stream. I mean, Larson very, very lightly touched the inside wall with the right rear corner panel. I don't think the damage on the right rear corner panel is going to cost him at all. Killer Dash 55, welcome to the stream. Javier Hernandez, welcome to the stream as well. Thank you. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Definitely run that like button up and a subscribe count. But the likes are at 22 right now. Just refreshed it. Our goal is 100. We have nearly 90 people watching. And Chastain will lead a bunch of drivers onto pit road right now. 4 tires for the one. I'm sure it'll be 4 tire stops nearly all day at Dover. At least, maybe at the end of the race you may see some strategy, but for right now, still early enough in the going. Just shy of the halfway mark. I would expect most drivers to take 4 tires. We'll see if anybody takes 2, and I'll let you guys know if that is the case. 4 tires for Chris Buescher, Martin Truex Jr. as well on pit road as they were inside the top 3. Ross Chastain will win the race off of pit road. How about Justin Haley up 10 spots? He goes right sides only to gain track position with the Colleague Racing 31 car. Everybody else will take 4 tires. Chris Buescher loses 4 spots on pit road, falls back to 7th. He was the big loser there. But Haley gambles, taking 2 tires, but he ends up 3rd. Him not restarting in the lead to have the clean air, I don't know if that is going to be a good call, but we'll see on the restart. It is definitely a difficult racetrack to pass. We saw some drivers hold on fairly well at the end of stage number 1 earlier today on a little bit older tires and a green racetrack, so we'll see about this one. Zach Schumann, welcome to the stream. We'll see if we break a stream record today. The most people that we've ever had watching on the channel for the live commentary races was at Las Vegas for the Pennzoil 400 earlier this season, where we had over 400 people watching. Currently just over 100 right now. It is a Monday afternoon, so the numbers might not be as great this weekend. I'm expecting that. Too bad they could not start the race at noon 1 o'clock yesterday, where we would have gotten the race in. Whether it was rain shortened or not, it definitely would have gotten well past halfway that this race would have been over, but for those of you that are able to watch, or maybe were at work and lucked out and you're off of work today and you can watch the race, and welcome in, even if you can't watch the race and this is your only way of knowing what's going on. Currently, Ross Chastain is the race leader early in stage 2. Denny Hamlin, who was leading it, has led the most laps so far, still 67 laps led, and won stage 1. Had the fastest car yesterday, right out of the gate today. Still looks like he has had the fastest car. Had a pit road penalty after his left front tire had come off the race car exiting pit road. That was during caution flag conditions, so it didn't bring out an extra yellow, but because the tire came off, there will likely be some penalties handed out to that number 11 team. Crew chief will likely be suspended $100,000 fine will likely end up being handed out as well to Chris Gabehart, and the front tire changer and Jackman, if I had to guess, are probably going to be the two that are going to get suspended off of the team as well for the next 4 weeks, considering that the Jackman seemed to have dropped the jack a little bit too early. Christopher Bell also had an issue. He was third at the end of stage 1. He had a tire that was loose on the restart. He dropped back a bunch of positions before bringing it on the pit road after about 2 laps. Tire stayed on the race car though, so you won't see any penalties from the 20, but he is still multiple laps down since then because of it. It looks like Daniel Suarez had a pit road penalty of some sort because he is going to have to restart the rear of the field according to our live leaderboard on the channel. And Harrison Burton got the free pass during the caution. So Christopher Bell is the first car 1 lap down, at least on the restart, but he's having to race Kyle Larson. So that's going to be a good battle to see who's going to get the free pass position between Bell and Larson during the next caution or the stage break, whatever comes first. The problem is if it's the stage break, there's going to be more cars that are going to end up going a lap down. If we have a long green flag run, they're going to have to pass those guys as well as each other. So that is going to be a fun battle to keep an eye on as well between Bell and Larson to see who could get the free pass, because they both have top 5 race cars today. Larson was in 6th when he spun off of turn 4. That was the most recent yellow. Green flag back in the air. Ross Chastain will restart on the outside lane. Truex first car on the bottom. Justin Haley on the outside. He is on 2 tires because he only took right sides during the caution pit stop. Lap 44 of 130 in the stage, so a little over 90 laps to go yet in stage 2. Justin Haley got a great launch on the restart ahead of Truex. Barely cleared him into turn 3 for 2nd place. And we'll see if he can keep pace with a fellow Chevy out in front of Ross Chastain. Jockeying for position going on in the middle of the pack. Kevin Harvick to the outside of the 17 to Chris Buescher in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That'll give Harvick the momentum down the backstretch. And Buescher trying to hang on. 3 wide into turn 3. Further back between Ryan Blaney, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Alex Bowman. Blaney has come from very deep in the field up to 10th place now. I'm not sure where he restarted following the pit stops there, but he was back in 30th at one point because he had made an adjustment and made an unscheduled stop during the caution of the rain yellow before we went green today. He was in the top 5 before that. He was actually in 3rd during the caution, so he lost a lot of track position. Didn't get stage points at stage 1, but he's back inside the top 10. Watch out for the 12 car. All 4 Hendrick Chevys still inside the top 11, but with the issues to 2 of the JGR Toyotas, only 2 of them now are in the top 6 after all 4 finished in the top 9 at the end of stage 1. Denny Hamlin's worked his way up to 15th, now to the outside of A.J. Allmendinger for 14th into turn 3, and he'll make the pass for that 14th position. Kurt Busch rides in line right behind him, fellow Toyota driver, also trying to work on A.J. Allmendinger for position. Haley's sticking around within about a half a second to 0.6 of a second behind Ross Chastain, and Truex is about 0.3 of a second roughly behind Haley in 3rd. Keselowski moved up a bunch of spots on the restart as well, up to a race-high 4th place position. Got around Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch on the restart. Likely was in that outside lane, which is the preferred lane on the restart. 1 car has been able to work the bottom on the restart. That was Chase Elliott on the 2nd restart during today's portion of the race. And he actually restarted on the inside, and Larson was the controlled car and still was able to clear Larson off of turn 2, the opening lap following that restart, right around lap 90 or so. Currently, right now, Bell is ahead of Kyle Larson for the free pass position. Martin Truex Jr. works to the outside of Justin Haley for 2nd place. Definitely looks like the passes that are being made have been on the outside today, not the inside, as one driver tends to move up the lane to try to get the momentum off the exit of the corner and off the transition from the banking to the straightaway. And they build that momentum up to make the pass on the car on the inside. So it's not just a setup move like you would maybe see at most racetracks, but it's actually the passing move in this case today. $117 people in the chat, 28 likes on the stream. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. The goal is 100 likes, but you can definitely get there if you guys hit the like button and Subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content, realistic commentary, real commentary for the live races on the race weekend. We'll be back at it next Sunday for the Darlington Cup race, the throwback race. That will be aired on Fox Sports 1, just like this race today. Larson has gotten around Christopher Bell within the last couple laps now and currently runs in the 30th position. And is the first car one lap down. Ty Dillon would be the last car on the lead lap. He's 11 seconds off the lead and about a half a track or so ahead of Ross Chastain yet. Those guys are going to have to quickly run down the back half of the field, though, which is going to be tough considering they restarted there. Side by side again as Bell charges to the inside of Larson for position through turns 1 and 2. Mentioned that this was probably going to be a good battle with equal race cars and both fast race cars, and that seems to be the case right now as they continue to go back and forth. Bell cannot get around Larson, has to drop in line behind him on the front straightaway. They've worked their way up past Austin Dillon and Daniel Suarez already, and those guys are running about 26th and 27th, so they're a little further back in the field right now. Daniel Suarez, this is one of his better ovals on the circuit. He was one of the sleeper picks coming into the weekend from the predictions in yesterday's portion of the live stream before the race had started, that I said he was going to get at least a top 10 in today's race. And as of right now, that is not looking the case. Ross Chastain has a lot of speed, and really Suarez had speed at least in qualifying, qualified in the 8th position. He has 5 top 10s at this racetrack, including last season he finished 9th with Trackhouse Racing. Trackhouse has had a lot more speed this year out of the gate than last year, and that even goes for Suarez just as much as Chastain. Chastain a little bit more, but Suarez has had a couple top 5s this season himself already. One car making an unscheduled stop on pit road looks to be BJ McLeod in the 78. It was already a bunch of laps down, so maybe some sort of mechanical issue there. Truex is slowly closing in on Ross Chastain for the lead and is about 3 to 4 car lengths behind him off of turn 4 as they work back to the start-finish line at lap 59. Justin Haley still in 3rd and has dropped about 2.9 seconds off the lead and is still about 7/10 of a second or so ahead of Chase Elliott in 4th. Greg Retta and Chris Perry, welcome to the stream. 5 cars still raceable. Yes, Larson is the first car 1 lap down, and it definitely looks like he and Bell still have speed. Remember, Bell's a lap down after having to make an unscheduled green flag stop. He had a loose tire coming apart off of one of the restarts at the beginning of Stage 2, the beginning restart of Stage 2, and then Kyle Larson had spun off of Turn 4, just losing control of his car, stepping a little over the edge, and that had caused him to flat spot his tires. He went a lap down on pit road during the yellow, so that's why they are both a lap down, racing for the free pass position. We are still 70 laps shy of the end of Stage 2, and everybody will still have to make a pit stop at some point in Stage 2. Even though we saw drivers pit that time during the most recent yellow, I don't think they can go about 85 laps on fuel. So it'll be interesting to see if they just try to push it as far as they can, or if we see some drivers maybe split it in half, just over 40 laps per run. It's going to be risky to split it in half, knowing that we have seen cautions today. We'll see. Brad Keselowski seems to have more of a short-run car, just like his teammate Chris Buescher, as Keselowski, after working to 4th off the restart, has now fallen back to 8th place as Kevin Harvick, Buescher himself, and Kyle Busch have all gotten around him, as well as Chase Elliott, since the restart. Keselowski hanging on to 8th right now. Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney just behind Byron and Keselowski. Byron within a 10th of a second on Keselowski as Fox is on a commercial break. We'll take a full field rundown as of right now in this one. Ross Chastain is the race leader, 0.2 of a second ahead of Martin Truex Jr., who is in 2nd. Justin Haley in 3rd after taking right sides only during the pit stop under the last caution. Seems to be working well for him. He's hanging on to 3rd. Chase Elliott is in 4th. Kyle Busch rounds out the top 5. Chris Buescher in 6th. Kevin Harvick 7th. Alex Bowman up to 8th. Keselowski back to 9th. And William Byron rounds out the top 10. Ryan Blaney is up to 11th. Denny Hamlin, after his uncontrolled tire penalty, is up to 12th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 13th. Eric Jones 14th. And Kurt Busch is 15th. AJ Allmendinger running the part-time colleague racing ride is in 16th. Tyler Reddick is 17th after qualifying outside the top 20 for yesterday. Eric Almirola 18th. Ryan Preece has dropped back to 19th. And Joey Logano has had a rough day today in 20th. Bubba Wallace in 21st after qualifying in the top 10 for yesterday's start. Chase Briscoe in 22nd. Cole Custer 23rd. Corey LaJoie 24th and Michael McDowell 25th. Suarez is struggling as well after qualifying well as in 26th. 27th is Austin Dillon. Ty Dillon 28th and Harrison Burton's the last car in the lead lap in 29th. Kyle Larson's the first car, 1 lap down in 30th. Christopher Bell also lap down in 30th after their issues I mentioned moments ago. Cody Ware is 3 laps down in 32nd. Todd Gilliland is 3 laps down in 33rd. Josh Bilicki 10 laps down in 34th. McLeod just pulled off the racetrack. He's 19 laps down now. And Austin Cindric is also in the garage after spinning and backing into the wall with a toe issue after that incident early on in today's action. Billy Kramer, K.E. Hahn, welcome to the stream. Great coverage. I know where I'll be from now on when I'm stuck at work Monday for racing. Well, thank you. Hopefully we don't have too many more Monday races this year. I will say last year, we had like 3 or 4, and we've only had 1 through 11 races this year, so it's been a lot better this season so far. Logano going to destroy about a dozen cars in a few laps as usual. I don't know. He's just off. I mean, Cindric was right there with him before. Even Cindric was really outrunning them, though. I mean, Cindric was more right around 15th when he spun, but Logano's been right around 20th or worse. Oh, trouble! Up turn 2. Car in the wall. Kurt Busch. Down into the inside wall, head on, and he has heavy damage to the back of his race car. Might have gotten the outside wall as well off of turn 2. Caution is out with 62 laps to go at stage 2. Now the fuel window is open to the end of the second stage. Kurt Busch has flat spotted some tires and is struggling to get that car rolling again. It looks like both rear tires are down. Similar to Kyle Larson, just stepped over the edge in the middle of the corner, loses control. But only this time. Actually, no, never mind. He got a little help. Kurt Busch was a little bit off the bottom lane in turns 1 and 2. And there was contact from behind by the 16 car of AJ Allmendinger. As Allmendinger had clipped the left rear of Busch. Kurt couldn't save it. He backed it into the outside wall and then came right back down the racetrack and slammed the right front into the inside wall and ricocheted back into the right rear again. So the right rear taking 2 hits. 1 in the outside wall, 1 in the inside wall, then the right front took a hit into the inside wall as well. So Kurt Busch with an incident off the front bumper of AJ Allmendinger, bringing out another caution. I believe it's our 5th of the race and our 3rd today, 2nd for incident in today's portion of the race. It's our 3rd incident of today's portion of the race, 6th total. Forgot about Larson's spin. And that will give Kyle Larson the free pass. He was ahead of Christopher Bell when the caution came out, so that is good for any Larson fans out there wondering who got the free pass. So Kyle Larson will get the free pass in 29th. Christopher Bell will still be a lap down on the restart, and Kurt Busch's day is likely going to come to an end because he has heavy damage. Still trying to work his car all the way back into his pit box. And that both the right front is bashed in as well as the right rear. About a 25-lap green flag run again before a caution. That seems to be the trend so far. About 20 to 30 laps, and we tend to see somebody lose control of the race car or something of that nature. We haven't had a long Dover-like green flag run yet in this race. Still trying to jack up the right side of Kurt Busch's race car right now. Greg Schneider, welcome to the stream as well. 136 people currently watching the stream. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Live commentary for the real races on the race weekend. Video game races during the week as well. Goals on in around 2,000 subscribers, so I don't think we'll get there today, but I think by next weekend's race, I think we can get there. Some drivers are staying out. Some are pitting. It looks like most of them are pitting, unless you're towards the middle to the back of the pack. Justin Haley, who only took 2 tires on the last stop, will be the first driver to stay out. Very interesting. He didn't come in, but Ross Chastain and a lot of the other leaders are in. 4-tire stop for Ross Chastain in the 1. Chase Elliott currently working on 4 tires as well as they round to the left side of his race car. Martin Truex Jr. At least taking the right sides for right now. Air pressure adjustment for Chase Elliott. Martin Truex Jr. struggling to run the outside right now, so they may be making a chassis adjustment there as well. 2-tire stop for William Byron to win the race off of pit road. Everybody else who pitted took 4 except for Corey LaJoie, who also took 2. We're under a caution for the 6th time in the race and the 4th time in today's action after Kurt Busch gets a spin off of turn 4 after contact with A.J. Allmendinger in the 16. Busch backs it into the outside wall and then back down the track into the inside wall in the back straightaway. His day is likely done. It's been a hit-or-miss season so far for Kurt Busch this year. The 2311 Toyotas have not had a lot of speed out of the gate this year. Busch was outside the top 10 again at the time of his spin here. And that's going to hurt him in the points because on the bubble coming into this race was Busch as far as the playoff campaign has gone so far for him. And this may drop him below the cutoff line if he doesn't get any help by the end of this race, with other drivers maybe having issues that were around the cutoff line. So the drivers who stayed out of the pits were Justin Haley and Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, A.J. Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick also stayed out, Chris Buescher, and Ty Dillon. Buescher pit. The order just flipped on me. Let me reread that. Justin Haley, Alex Bowman, A.J. Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, and Ty Dillon all hit pit road. So the top 8 will be on about 25 lap older tires. Everybody from 9th on back pit, though in 9th place William Byron took only 2 right side tires, and then Chastain on back took 4 tires. Corey LaJoie, who's in 18th, also took 2 tires, but he didn't gain that many positions. I think he only gained 7 spots on pit road. Denny Hamlin still back at 17th, trying to work his way forward after having the uncontrolled tire penalty. He got up to about 11th place before the caution came out, but because there were a lot of drivers that stayed out, this puts him a little bit further back in the running order. But we'll see how these guys are going to do on those older tires. It seemed like at the end of stage 1, the drivers who were on about 25 lap older tires from the rain caution yesterday fared pretty well. Denny Hamlin, who had fresh tires, did win the stage, but the other 7 that stayed out still all finished in the top 10. They may have lost a couple spots, but they didn't lose too many positions. And there are more cars on old tires this time than what there was last time, so I think that will help them even more. Though some of them that did stay out were well outside the top 20 today, like Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, and Bubba Wallace. Tyler Reddick as well. He's been outside the top 20 most of the day. Allmendinger was about 15th. Bowman was hanging in there around 9th to 11th most of the race. And Justin Haley was right there with Bowman on speed, but Haley, 2 pit stops ago, took 2 tires. So he's actually got older left side tires than even Bowman, Allmendinger, Reddick, Wallace, Suarez, and the Dillons behind him. So he definitely has the oldest tires of everybody, but he'll be the leader on the restart. Will likely elect the outside lane as we've seen all day today. That's been the preferred lane on the restarts. Poor XB, welcome to the stream. Junebug Fan Forever 88, welcome to the stream as well. Good afternoon to you too. Root for Truex Jr., Harvick, and Bubba Wallace. The race is on Fox Sports 1 this afternoon. Pace car is into the Geico restart zone, green flag back in the air as Haley leads him to the green from the outside. Bowman elected the inside line, kind of stacking him up a little bit on the restart. A.J. Allmendinger to the outside after causing the caution is up to 2nd place, getting around Bowman, who slides in the middle of turns 1 and 2, unable to hold on to his race car. And quickly, drivers on fresh tires are scrambling around drivers on old tires. Chastain goes 3 wide under Ty Dillon and Chase Elliott into turn 3. Elliott able to clear Dillon on the outside, and Ty Dillon continues to free fall since the restart middle of the pack. And is already back to about 13th. Kyle Busch on his way forward as well. He seems to be the first driver on fresh tires right now and is already up to 6. Busch backed off. There was a car in the wall in turn 1 that brought out a caution, and it is Joey Logano. So caution is out for Joey Logano. His day has gotten even worse after consistently running around 20th, and the damage will not help him. Waiting for the replay to see what happened to Joey Logano. Logano was on the outside, and it looked like the 43 of Eric Jones just got into him. I think Jones was trying to go to the outside in turns 1 and 2, didn't realize Logano's front bumper was still there, and that knocked Joey into the wall, bringing out the caution. I don't think Jones was trying to throw a block. I think he was just trying to go to the outside and just didn't know Logano was there on corner entry into turn 1. Maybe trying to widen his arc off a little bit too, but Logano was still there. Doesn't have nearly as much damage as, say, Kurt Busch after Kurt Busch's spin, but he definitely has damage to the right side of the race car. Will likely have to come to pit road, change right sides, and continue to try to work on that race car that has been fairly slow compared to Penske standards today. My favorite track is Bristol. Regular, good old concrete Bristol. It's been my favorite track since I was a little kid. Yep, and Christopher Bell will get the free pass with this caution for Joey Logano. Bell was third at the end of stage 1, so he does have speed today. But obviously it's been hard to pass because even Denny Hamlin, who won stage 1, is still only up to 15th after likely still having the fastest car in the field, but he's stuck back in traffic following his uncontrolled tire penalty. Looking at the damage on the right rear of Joey Logano's race car as they're continuing to change tires and checking the toe length because there were issues with Austin Cindric's car after he had backed it into the outside wall earlier. It had a toe link issue. Justin Haley continues to lead after leading the first lap at half following the restart. Justin Haley, one of the youngest drivers in the Cup Series, of course running his first full-time Cup Series season for points this year. Just led 7 laps today. He's had a fast car. I mean, he was running in 12th place even before he took 2 tires under 1 stop. Finally had something go his way last weekend at Talladega with a 12th place finish. It was up towards the running at the end. Dean Beducci, welcome to the stream. No problem. Thank you for watching. Get over to the USA. I would love to go see a race at Talladega. I highly recommend it. Yeah, my top 3 tracks I've been to so far, Bristol, then Daytona and Talladega. Super speedway racing is just insane, especially in person. It's insane to watch on TV. In person, it's even more insane. You wouldn't think it is, but it is. I mean, they just look like they're going to wreck every single lap, and it's amazing that they don't. Like most people that say that Daytona and Talladega doesn't take much talent to race at, but when you go and actually see those guys do what they do at Daytona and Talladega in person, you get a whole different experience of it. And you realize how hard it actually is. And Talladega is awesome. Because Christopher Bell ended up getting the free pass, he's going to come in and pit for tires. Brad Keselowski's fallen all the way back to 22nd. He was in 4th 2 restarts ago, then free fell back to 8th, lost more spots on pit road, and then more spots on the restart. Things have gone from really good to really bad in a hurry for the 6 team. So, according to Chase Elliott's crew chief, Alan Gustafson, he's radioed into his crew after Elliott had asked how many sets of tires they have left. They have about 4 sets of tires left. We are just at the halfway mark. Once we go green, we'll have 200 laps complete, still 200 to go. They are good on fuel to the end of stage 2 now, so they shouldn't have to make another stop, and I would think 4 sets is going to be good enough to make it through the final stage. They'll have to pit 1, maybe 2 times scheduled, and then you have a couple if we still get more yellows like we've seen in stage 2 so far. Not a lot of long green flag runs in stage 2 up to this point. Caution's kind of breeding cautions. Green flag back in the air, though, as Justin Haley will lead the colleague cars to the green flag with Allmendinger to his inside on the restart. This time it's Bowman who gets the launch and gets around Allmendinger on the outside of row number 2. Scattering 2 and 3 wide further back in the pack as, again, drivers on older tires still trying to hang in back there. That fell behind on the restart. Larson goes all the way to the top lane, 3 wide. Nearly gets into the wall and had to lift off turn 4 and almost stacked up Michael McDowell in the 34 car behind him. And they're 3 wide again in the middle of turns 1 and 2 as they try to organize their way through. Ty Dillon's holding up that group. Blaney into the back of the 42 car in the middle of turns 3 and 4, sending Dillon a bit wide. Dillon continues to free fall in positions. Blaney was stuck on the outside behind him, and they kept stacking him up 3 wide for a couple corners in a row and realized, hey, we're not going to make it if that keeps happening, and he got into the back of him, moving him up out of the way. Busch is still the first car on fresher tires after this restart, trying to get around Tyler Reddick. Slipped a little bit off the exit of turn 4, falls in line behind him. Chase Elliott's the next closest guy to Kyle Busch on fresh tires, and he's within a couple car lengths of Kyle Busch. And Busch continues to struggle to get around the 8 of Reddick. That could allow Elliott to get up to the 18 car. Kyle Busch has back-to-back top 3 finishes after a third-place finish at Talladega last week and his first win of the year at Dirt Bristol the week before that. That was his career win number 60. It's going to be fun to see what Kyle Busch can do over the coming years as he continues to rack up wins to see where he can end up putting himself on the all-time wins list, currently sitting in the top 10 already. Every win, really, from this point on in his career is going to be a huge milestone marker. And I think many would expect that he has at least another 5 to 6 good seasons still in him as he's still in his mid-30s. Alex Bowman continuing to try and work on the 31 of Justin Haley. He's about 3 to 4 car lengths behind him for the race lead. Bowman running the middle of the upper groove, trying to set up the 31 of Haley, who continues to run on the bottom. By Haley running the bottom, that also would create more dirty air if Bowman were to run the bottom in the same lane. So trying to move up, and it looked like Haley actually moved up that time in turns 1 and 2, putting Bowman in the dirty air again. Kyle Busch finally is able to make the pass on Tyler Reddick for fourth, and quickly gets to the inside of AJ Allmendinger for third place, and he'll make the pass on AJ in turns 1 and 2. So Kyle Busch back up to third place, and he's looking to run down the 48 and the 31, who are up ahead and only a second ahead of him. Chase Elliott trying to keep up with Kyle Busch, can't quite do it. He's still working on Tyler Reddick for 5th place, and will finally clear Reddick off of turn 2 for position, moving Elliott back inside the top 5. Ross Chastain would be the next closest driver on 4 fresh tires behind Elliott, but he's about 4 positions behind him right now, and battling Martin Truex Jr. for 9th, who also has fresher tires. Travis Glant, welcome to the stream. Cliff Gadry, welcome. So Justin Haley's 2-tire stop from 2 pit stops ago is still keeping him out in the race lead with the clean air and the track position. It'll be interesting if Bowman can actually get around him, and then once Haley falls in the dirty air, if he'll start to fall backwards. Bowman to the inside in turns 3 and 4, finally works his way underneath Haley and clears him off of turn 4. New leader for the first time today, it's Alex Bowman in the 48 car. He knew he had to get around Haley quick because Busch on fresher tires is closing in on the leaders. Haley trying to defend on Kyle Busch into turn 3, running the inside lane. Busch moves up to the middle of the upper groove, trying to give himself a little bit more speed on the front stretch, and maybe could get around Haley there. Truex will make a pass on the outside of Ross Chastain for position. Kyle Busch is clear of Haley, and quickly in 1 and 2 in the very next corner gets around Alex Bowman for the race lead as well. And Chase Elliott is up to 4th, and he's on the back bumper of Justin Haley now, trying to run down the 18 of Busch in traffic. Denny Hamlin also trying to work forward after his uncontrolled tire penalty early in stage 2, is up to 11th place, making a pass on Daniel Suarez for position. Unbelievable how quickly Kyle Busch was able to make the pass on not just Justin Haley, but also got around the 48 of Alex Bowman as well. All in the span of about a half a lap. Gets around each of the top two. Again, Truex back in 8th. Is the next closest on fresh tires outside of the first and third place cars of Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott, and I'd have to assume Elliott will get around Bowman within the next couple laps, at the very least for second. But if he doesn't get around him quick, Kyle's going to continue to pull away, and as of right now, Kyle Busch has already opened up about a 9/10 of a second lead. Kyle Busch has 2 wins on his birthday in his NASCAR Cup Series career, Richmond in 2009 and Kansas last season. Well, we weren't going to race on his birthday originally this year, but because the race got moved to a Monday, it is May 2nd. It is officially Kyle Busch's birthday, and he's looking to win a 3rd race on his birthday in his career. I don't think any driver has ever done that before. I think he's one of only 2 drivers to do it twice. Isn't Bobby Allison the other driver to do it twice, if I remember right, from last year? That's just insane. And the fact that it could be at 3 different racetracks is even more impressive. NASCAR YT, welcome to the stream. CA Trian to maybe? I'm trying to say your name correctly. Welcome from Greece, though. Triantafil. I'm trying to say that in one consonant, and it's not working out very well. Triantafil. You'll have to pronounce that down in the chat. I'm really trying so hard. I don't want to mess your name up any more than what I already have. Welcome to the stream. I see you down in the chat. I try to call out as many people as possible. 168 people currently watching the stream. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. The goal is 100 likes on the stream. Only at 38 right now. Come on, guys. Hit that like button. And again, subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NASCAR content. We do live race commentary, the real races on the race weekend. The races I'm at in person, we do race highlight videos, or I'll have race highlight videos from the grandstands, give you a point of view of if you were at the racetrack, at least for my seats, what it would look like throughout the course of the race as well. So there is action every Cup Series race weekend, whether it is this commentary or that. And then other commentary during the middle of the week of the video game side, just to give the realistic commentary a go on that side of things, all in the hopes of hopefully one day getting into the commentating booth for real races down the road. Martin Truex Jr. has moved up a couple positions within the last couple laps on A.J. Allmendinger and William Byron, moving Truex back inside the top 5. He was 5th at the end of Stage 1, and he's back up to 5th late in Stage 2. 30 laps to go currently in Stage 2, as Kyle Busch has a 1.6 second lead over Alex Bowman. Chase Elliott is in 3rd, 2 seconds off the race lead, still hasn't gotten around Bowman. And then Justin Haley still hanging on to 4th place, 4.5 seconds off the lead. Martin Truex Jr. in 5th, right behind him at 4.6 seconds off the race lead. So that's the top 5 with 30 to go in Stage 2. We've had 6 cautions total today. 7 after the Joey Logano incident. I should say 7 in the race, but 5 today, because we did have 79 laps of action yesterday at Dover. A couple of those cautions were the competition yellow at lap 40 yesterday, the rain caution yesterday, and then the stage caution today. So 4 cautions for incidents, and we'll have another stage caution very soon as well. Chase Elliott finally gets around Alex Bowman for 2nd place. 2 seconds off the race lead of Kyle Busch. Maybe with a little bit more clean air, we'll get to see who's faster between the 9 and the 18 as we finish out the rest of stage number 2. Both the colleague cars battling now for position as Haley's still losing spots. Again, he's got the oldest left side tires in the field right now. Almost contact between both the colleague cars off of turn 4 as Denny Hamlin is going to have a great run now to make a pass on the 16 car of A.J. Allmendinger and quickly closes to the back bumper of Justin Haley for 6th place. Look out for Denny Hamlin. May have counted him out a little too early after the uncontrolled tire penalty. He doesn't seem to have any damage to the underbody of the race car. And he has come back from 30th at one point. And at the tail end of the field, following that uncontrolled tire penalty early in Stage 2 to 6th in just the second stage alone. Allmendinger still battling Justin Haley for position, even after Hamlin gets around both of them. Haley trying to hang on for all the stage points he can. Allmendinger to the inside again, has to check up as he can't complete the pass off turn 4. Giving the run to Ross Chastain in the one car now right behind him. AJ all the way to the third lane on the outside. Haley in the middle. Chastain looks to the bottom. Both the colleague cars single file in the backstretch, but finally Allmendinger clears Haley. And Chastain will get around Haley through 3 and 4 on the bottom. So Haley is falling back right now. He's in 10th place. Actually, Kevin Harvick is going to get around him too. So Haley may lose a chance at stage points after hanging on to the lead for a little while. But once he lost the lead, he continues to fall back. Chase Elliott may be a tad faster than Kyle Busch. I don't know if he's quick enough to actually run him down before the end of this stage. He's trimmed that gap down about 2 to 3 tenths of a second. He's now about 1.8 seconds off the lead with 23 to go in stage 2. Ross Chastain will make the pass on AJ Allmendinger for position as AJ goes way up the racetrack. Kevin Harvick almost gets underneath him as well, and he'll have to wait at least another corner. Allmendinger stayed out of the pits during the last caution. So did Alex Bowman, who's a little bit further up ahead of him. He finally gets caught by Martin Truex Jr., and Truex makes the pass on the outside off of turn 4 for 3rd place. Bowman hanging on to 4th, the defending winner of the Dover race last season. Trying to get a win at the racetrack again today. Kyle Busch working around slow car Joey Logano, who is well off the pace after his most recent accident. Logano remains in this race, but he is multiple laps down in 30th. Or at least is 1 lap down. He's shown 2 laps down on our leaderboard. I'd say this leaderboard most of the time is pretty accurate. Old home guy, welcome to the stream. Bugger check. I don't know what that was all about, but welcome to the stream. Any driver I despise? Not really. I think the closest was probably Ben Rhodes in 2020 when he was just wrecking guys left and right like 3 races in a row at the end of the season. But, I mean, he's matured. By the end of last season, even this year, it seems like he races mostly cleanly. That was probably the closest, but no driver I despise. When I was younger, I didn't like Jimmy Johnson because he won all the time, but then when you realize, how great a driver is, I put that in the past. Same for Kyle Busch. And that was when I was really young and I was a kid. My grandparents didn't like him because of that reason, so I kind of latched onto that. But as I grew older, and I'd say I'm fairly mature for the most part, that I don't hate guys because they win. I think a lot of sports fans do that in other sports. I mean, look at Tom Brady, for instance. I feel like a lot of people that are NFL fans hate Tom Brady, even though he's literally the greatest quarterback of all time. And I don't even think there's a debate for that anymore. But they still don't like him. Tyler Reddick is on pit road with 18 laps to go at stage 2 as his right front tire is coming apart. You can see the rubber chunks coming off of the race car. So Tyler Reddick's right front coming apart. He was in the top 10 after restarting there at least because he had older tires. This will drop him back in the running order and likely drop him off the lead lap. See if he'll go 1 lap down or 2 laps down. Justin Haley is still falling from grace. He's back to 16th. Chase Briscoe's made the pass for position on him for the 15th spot. Shout out to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Eric Jones running in the top 10 at the end of stage 2 right now, running 9th and 10th on the racetrack. Jones didn't qualify well, started outside the top 20. Stenhouse qualified 15th, but it's just consistently ran back half of the top 10 most of the race today. By far the best run for Stenhouse this year, and obviously we saw Jones come very close to getting a win for that 43 Petty GMS team last weekend at Talladega, but he's backing it up with another good run again this weekend at a much different racetrack, a more demanding racetrack at Dover. Another tire coming apart, and it's on the 42 of Ty Dillon. Right front. We continue to stay green as Dillon will get to pit road like Reddick, so that is 2 drivers who stayed out of the pits during the last caution that their right front tires are coming apart. So we'll have to keep an eye on AJ Allmendinger, Justin Haley, Alex Bowman, because those guys also stayed out of the pits. Bubba Wallace as well. Daniel Suarez. 13 laps to go to the end of stage 2. There's major cording going on with both of the right front tires on Tyler Reddick and Ty Dillon. So those drivers that stayed out of the pits have about 77 laps on their tires as of right now and counting. The drivers who pitted have about 45 plus lap old tires as of right now since the race started. This is our longest green flag run of the race so far today. By the way, Denny Hamlin got around Alex Bowman a couple laps ago for 4th place. So Hamlin, after winning stage 1, despite the penalty, is looking to get a lot more stage points. Remember, playoff points are awarded to any drivers who finish in the top 10 at the end of the regular season standings. We are still just early enough in the year, despite the fact Hamlin's outside the top 20 in the driver standings right now, for him to get inside the top 10. And no worries for any Denny Hamlin fans. He is locked into the playoffs after a win at Richmond earlier this season, so I wouldn't count him out. If he has good runs like he did at Richmond and like he is having today, and I'd say even today is looking like the fastest car he has had this season, although he won at Richmond, he only led 6 laps on strategy at the end of that race. But today he led 66, 67. 10 laps to go in stage number 2. Nine laps to go. AJ Allmendinger radioing into his crew that he feels like he's got a tire potentially going. Oh, trouble! Denny Hamlin has crashed off of turn 4. And there's another car involved as well. Cody Ware. Hamlin and Ware have crashed off of turn 4 with 9 laps to go in stage 2. Well, so much for Denny Hamlin coming back as the right side of his race car is torn apart. This is not going to be something Hamlin can come back from. He was defying the odds after the uncontrolled tire penalty, quickly back inside the top 5. Cody Ware had gotten into the outside wall, losing control off of turn 4. Denny Hamlin tried to miss him to the inside on the front straightaway, and Ware back down the racetrack right in to the right side door of Denny Hamlin's race car, knocking Hamlin into the inside wall with the back of his race car as well. Hamlin tried to gas it up to get by him and just missed him. Got clipped just in front of the right rear tire. But heavy damage to Denny Hamlin's race car, and I think he'll be able to continue on in this race. But with this much damage, I definitely don't think he is going to have the pace he did before. He got lucky, didn't have damage to the underbody of the race car when the left front tire came apart earlier, but this is just peeled the right side of his race car. Did you know? Welcome to the stream. Hamlin's going to get eliminated in the round of 8. That'd actually be a good playoff run considering how things have gone for Hamlin this year. And this has definitely been the fastest car he has had this season. And this is now the second issue that has happened. Now you could say that maybe Denny Hamlin could have missed him if he went to the outside because of the 9 degrees of banking on the front and back straightaway at Dover. That's why Cody Ware's car in the middle of the straightaway had backed down the racetrack as fast as it did, and Hamlin went to the bottom thinking he could get around him before Cody Ware had backed it all the way down towards the inside wall, and he just wasn't able to do so. If he maybe was a little more patient, stayed on the outside, I think he would have had Ware miss, but it's a judgment call, and these guys are going so fast. Speeds of about 170 miles an hour top end at Dover this weekend for the Cup Series. It's hard to make judgment decisions like that, especially when you're coming off the exit of a blind corner. I don't think he even saw the 51 car of Ware spinning until he got to the exit of turn 4, making his call of trying to go high or go low even quicker. 7 to go as pit road is open in the stage. A lot of drivers are pitting, but some are staying out. The one staying out will try to get some stage points. Looks like we have about 5 or 6 drivers staying out of the pits. Kyle Busch from the lead will pit, along with Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., many others behind him. It looked like a couple of the cars that stayed out were actually ones that had pitted, like Reddick and Ty Dillon, because they can now take the wave around. I think Ryan Blaney stayed out of the pits, and he was on the lead lap. There might have been somebody else that stayed out as well. A lot older tires though now compared to what we've seen with drivers who have stayed out before. Before it was about 25 to 30 laps most of the time. Now we're about 50 laps, and there's an uncontrolled tire penalty coming for the 14 car of Chase Briscoe. His tire about rolled into the back bumper of Martin Truex Jr.'s pit box. So Briscoe will have a penalty. They'll take the time and get those lug nuts secured tightly. It looks like Kyle Busch wins the race off of pit road meanwhile. Elliott loses a spot to Truex. Mark Witkowski, welcome to the stream. Cody Ware is worse than trash. Welcome to the stream. Waste of space. How's it going? Coincidentally, you say that right as, or your name comes in right as there was a crash involving Cody Ware and Denny Hamlin after Ware spun off turn 4 and backed into Denny Hamlin. It looks like there's a lug nut laying on the racetrack right now that might have fallen off of a car who just came off of pit road, so we'll have to see who else did not have a lug nut secured tightly off of our pit stops this time. Jay Farmer, welcome to the stream. Bring it home, Chase. It definitely widens it out. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott may be looking like the two favorites. Martin Truex Jr. as well has been in the top 5 most of the day. I think those are the 3 guys to look out for the later portion of the race. Remember in the predictions yesterday, for those of you that watched yesterday's live stream, I picked Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott as the must-haves. You should absolutely have them in your fantasy lineups. Chase Elliott was my pick to win. I'm 0 for 10 this year. I need to get one right at some point, right? So the 2 cars that stayed out of the pits were both Fords, one Wood Brother Ford and one Penske Ford, Ryan Blaney and Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton has been running outside the top 25 most of the day. I don't expect him to stand very well. Ryan Blaney, on the other hand, has been running pretty much 10th to 15th most of the day. Has ran as high as 8th at one point on normal speed and equal tires. But we've seen drivers that have the lead be able to hold it on older tires on these restarts recently. And if Blaney can do that here, he's got a good chance at winning the stage. Remember, Blaney already is tied for the most stage wins this season with 3. I think Justin Haley ran over the lug nut that was laying on the racetrack. Interesting. Currently 4 laps to go in the stage. Still trying to clean the debris off. They will get a restart before the end of this stage. It's going to be interesting how many laps we'll have left, though. And it looks like they'll be going green this time by. Ryan Blaney elects the inside lane on the restart. Everybody has elected the outside. Blaney's the first one on the inside in the Jack Link's number 12 car, and Harrison Burton will be on the outside. But Blaney will be the controlled car, so we'll see if that will make a difference. But this is very, very interesting. 3 laps to go in stage 2 as they enter the Geico restart zone. Who will get the playoff point? Blaney looking for his 4th stage win of the year. Green flag back in the air. Equal between the 21 and the 12. Kyle Busch trying to go to the 3rd lane. 3 wide on the outside to get around Harrison Burton. Blaney leads off turn 2, and Busch is in 2nd on the outside, clearing Martin Truex Jr. 2 laps to try and get around Ryan Blaney for the stage win. He's got about 45 to 50 lap fresher tires. Blaney clear off turn 4. Busch on the big run. Elliott almost in the wall and had to lift off turn 4. Loses multiple positions in the back half of the top 10. Eric Jones and Chris Busch are going to get around. Blaney has a lap and a half to hold on now as he still leads off turn 2. Busch is on the back bumper of the 12 car. Truex is right there as well. Busch going to the middle upper groove. Truex overdrives 3 and 4. He slips up the track. Bowman is up to 3rd. Final lap of stage 2. It's all between Busch and Blaney now as they enter turn 1. Busch to the middle to upper groove, trying to get the run off the exit of the corner. Blaney now runs up to try and block the 18 of Busch. Blaney maintains his gap down the back straightaway. One last chance for Kyle Busch to try to get to the 12 of Ryan Blaney. He goes to the outside. He shakes. He wiggles up the track. And Ryan Blaney will win stage number 2, hanging on old tires. Kyle Busch is second. Alex Bowman will end up third. Martin Truex Jr. fourth. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. rounds out the top 5 in stage number 2. Ross Chastain 6th, Eric Jones 7th, Harrison Burton fell back to 8th, but still gets some stage points, better than what he would have if he didn't stay out. Chris Buescher 9th, and Chase Elliott rounds out the top 10. Ryan Blaney will steal stage 2 away, his 4th stage win of the year, and those are important points because remember Chase Elliott scored stage points in stage 1. Stage 2, Elliott only gets 1 stage point. And it's Blaney and Elliott battling for the regular season championship right now. That is going to give Blaney now the most stage wins of any driver this season by winning the 4th of the season. And that will be our 10th caution now with the stage 2 break. And we'll have 160 laps to go in the final stage. 150 to go, in the final stage. Valvoline Warrior, welcome to the stream. Larson 15th. Yeah, he's on the comeback as well after spinning and for the most part saving it off in turn 4 earlier on in the stage. Just over 200 people watching right now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. Go Penske, baby. Good job. Your boy wins the stage. Indeed. Alexis Ruiz, welcome to the stream. Just found out Cindric didn't make the repair clock. That's why. Okay, thank you for that. Down in the chat. I was wondering because he actually came back out on the racetrack. I thought maybe the toe link was off. But if he didn't make the damage repair clock in time, then that would make sense too. I mean, he was 11 laps down when he came back out onto the racetrack anyway, so and off the pace. The only driver he would have been able to pass if he would still be in this race right now would be B.J. McLeod and Cody Ware. I guess Josh Bilicki too, but considering Cindric probably would have lost a few more laps. I don't know if that would necessarily be the case. I don't know if Blaney's going to win the race because he's going to have to pit now. So will Harrison Burton, who also got stage points staying out of the pits for the last 3 laps of stage 2. And that's going to drop them to, it looks like 26th and 27th in the running order. Tyler Reddick will get the free pass at the end of stage 2. Remember, he ended up having to pit because of a cut down right tire. Not cut down, but the tire just started coming apart because of how old it was and how much wear was on it. And by the way, Austin Dillon also got the free pass during the caution with Cody Ware and Denny Hamlin. So both the RCR cars are back on the lead lap. Here comes Blaney into the pits along with the 21 of Harrison Burton. So they'll be taking 4 tires now. That's a smart move for Ryan Blaney, though, because he wasn't really looking like he had a great shot to win today's race. Again, he may have top 10 car on speed, but that would probably be about as good as he is. By staying out to get the stage win and trying to hold off the rest of the cars on fresh tires like he did, he gets 10 stage points. He gets another playoff point, which he probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise in today's race. He may have been able to get some stage points. He definitely wouldn't have gotten 10. Again, he is battling Chase Elliott for the regular season championship. The regular season champion gets 15 playoff points. And all but 1 year we have seen in this 16-man playoff format the regular season champion make it to the championship 4. The only year that didn't happen was 2020 with Kevin Harvick. And this is the 8th year with the 16-man playoff format, so 7 of the 8 times the regular season champ has made it to the championship 4. I don't want to say it's automatic, but it helps a lot. So that's going to be a fun battle between Elliott and Blaney throughout the course of the regular season. Blaney came in 21 points behind Elliott today, but that works out for him. Clint Boyer dialing up Ryan Blaney. I can't find my controller.
I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, nice to get that stage win, you know. Big reason for staying out. If you wasn't on the stage, you kind of feel bad. So hopefully we can work our way back to the field. I think we got a decent Menards, Ford Mustang. Just got to keep digging.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thank y'all.
Bruce Sam Dot, welcome to the stream. Rooting for LaJoy. He's in 17th. He's actually having a decent run for Spire today. I want to see what Ricky Stenhouse Jr. can do. He has been slowly moving through the field today. He was top 10 at the end of stage 1, and now he's up to 5th. We've had issues with Hamlin, Larson, and Bell, who all have top 5 race cars. But now their chances of winning are a lot less, especially Hamlin. Christopher Bell's up to 19th. He still has a way to go. Larson is up to 13th, so he's getting up there. But Kyle Busch looking to capitalize. Right now, Hamlin has still led the most laps today with 67. Chastain just behind him with 66 laps led, though since Chastain hasn't been in the lead, he doesn't look like he quite has as fast of a car as Truex, per se. And 200 people watching the live stream right now. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 62 likes on the stream. Our goal is 100 for today's race, of course, because of what I'd say 150, but because it's a Monday and because there's less laps considering the race started yesterday, I figured 150 was going to be a little bit of a stretch. But we have one stage to go. We're past halfway there. I think we can get 100 likes on the stream. So hit the like button. That helps me out a ton. Subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content. We do this most race weekends. And the races I'm at the track, I do race highlight videos from the grandstands. You can go back and watch some of those from this season. I was at Daytona for the 500, so every race during Speed Week you can watch on there. I was at the Dirt Bristol race weekend, so you can watch the truck. The Cup race as well as the heat races from both are up on the channel. And then the Atlanta Cup race and the Auto Club Cup race are also on the channel for race highlight videos. I do race highlight videos with this commentary. Those are usually out the next day on the channel. Because I have to work Tuesday and Wednesday, it may be tough to get that out until Thursday this week. With this race being moved to Monday due to the rain yesterday. I'll try to get that out as soon as I possibly can, but that's going to be kind of tough for the next couple days. So bear with me on that one, but the race highlight videos with my commentary will be out middle of the week likely. Austin Almada, welcome to the stream. Hope Alex Bowman wins. He's looking good. He was in the top 10. I'd say of the Hendrick Chevys, he actually probably has the 4th, but I'd probably say 3rd best. I think he might be a little bit better than Byron. Byron had track position at the end of stage 1 because he took 2 tires under a stop at one point instead of 4, so that's why he finished better than him there. But Bowman's got the best track position of all of them right now. Elliott lost a lot of spots at the end of the stage, and I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. So Alex Bowman on the inside, Kyle Busch from the race lead will elect the outside for the restart. We'll have 143 laps to go when we go green at Dover. It is a one-stopper to the end, but knowing how much tires we're wearing out after 70-plus laps into the run, a couple tires going down, it may be a 2-stop final stage. So it sounds like most teams have 2 sets of sticker tires and 1 set of scuffs the rest of the way. It's going to be interesting knowing that these guys are likely going to have to pit 2 more times 4 tires the rest of this race. So if we get a lot of cautions like we had in Stage 2, it could be a big strategy kind of a race today. Talked about Stenhouse up to 4th place right now. Eric Jones is also in 6th. Great runs for both of those Chevrolets today. You never know when could lock them into the playoffs, and with all the leaders dropping out like flies in Stage 2, if that continues to happen, this could fall right into their lap today. Pace car rolling onto pit road, and we're going to get this final stage going. Green flag is back in the air. Kyle Busch again on the outside will get the launch. He's got his teammate Martin Truex Jr. right behind him as they work their way into turns 1 and 2. Bowman took off well on the inside. One of the better restarts from a car on the bottom today. 3 and nearly 4 wide in the middle of the pack as they try to send their way off of turn 2 down the backstretch. Alex Bowman still fights on the inside of Kyle Busch with Busch on the outside trying to hold on to the lead, and he clears Bowman off of turn 4 and finally will be able to lead at the line. Stenhouse, who restarted on the bottom, also had a good restart along with Bowman, got around Truex, and now Chastain trying to pull a slide job on the 19 for 4th place, and he couldn't quite do it. Off of turn 2, now he's clear on the backstretch. Big block now from Chastain to the front of the 19 car into turn 1. Truex has to lift in the dirty air, and Jones nearly gets underneath of Truex for 5th place after losing multiple positions on the restart. Bowman is still staying close to the back bumper of Kyle Busch for the race lead right now. Kyle Larson to the outside of Eric Almirola, just outside the top 10. He'll make the pass for position. That is actually inside the top 10. That was for 8th. Chase Elliott on the outside of Almirola as well will make the pass for 9th place, and both those Hendrick Chevrolets are working their way forward. They both led 19 laps today. Oddly enough, we've actually had 4 drivers lead 19 laps at some point in this race today. Haley Elliott, Buescher, and Larson. Cole Custer may have gotten into the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. He overdrove the corner going way up the racetrack, and then Ryan Blaney may have gotten into the back of him a little bit, stacking him up a little more. Blaney loses a couple positions, and Custer lost about 3 or 4 spots in that. It is all clear skies. The sun has come out. It was overcast skies for the beginning of today's portion of the race and most of yesterday's action as well. So the track may be getting a little bit slicker on these teams. Temperature is also, air temp at least, is about 10 degrees warmer today at Dover than what it was yesterday as well. Bowman's about half a second now behind Kyle Busch for the race lead. Daniel Suarez still struggling in this one as he is battling right now for 25th with Blaney, who had stayed out and then lost his track position at the end of stage 2 because he had to pit with being on older tires at the end of the second stage to score the stage win. So currently the top 10, Kyle Busch is the race leader. Second place by 0.4 of a second behind him is Alex Bowman. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in third, 1.5 seconds off the lead. Ross Chastain in fourth, 2.5 seconds off the lead. Martin Truex Jr. is in fifth, rounding out the top 5, 2.6 seconds back. Eric Jones is 3.2 seconds back in 6th place. 7th place is Chris Buescher after qualifying on the poles, 3.6 seconds off the lead. Kyle Larson in 8th, 4.2 seconds off the lead. Chase Elliott is in 9th, 4.5 seconds back. And 5.1 seconds off the lead is Eric Almirola rounding out the top 10. As far as the drivers from the predictions way back yesterday before the start of the race, the must-have drivers for the fantasy lineups of Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott are both inside the top 10 with Truex in 5th, Chase Elliott 9th. Chase Elliott was my win pick as well today. The sleeper picks coming into today's race of Daniel Suarez and we're having a brain fart of who that was. I'm trying to think back to yesterday. Well, first of all, Daniel Suarez is in 25th. He is not living up to the expectations I had for him. And Tyler Reddick was the other driver. He is in 21st. He had a tire down earlier, but is still on the lead lap in 21st. He's pretty much been outside the top 10 most of the day otherwise, outside of when he had stayed out on older tires to gain track position. But again, it didn't work out for him because the tire came apart before the end of the stage. That was in stage number 2. And then the don't-haves are both the RFK cars of Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher. Currently, Keselowski is 13th. I said he would at least finish outside the top 10. Currently, that is correct as they run right now. And then Chris Buescher is in 7th, still hanging on somewhat strong in the back half of the top 10 and has ran there most of the race. Still 131 long laps to go. Well, really short laps at Dover, considering how fast they can get laps in at this racetrack. This race should fly by if we don't have a lot more cautions the rest of the way. So Alex Bowman has closed on Kyle Busch. He was about a half a second off the lead just about 5 to 10 laps ago. He's gained down to about 0.3 of a second off the lead roughly between Busch and Bowman. But it's definitely been tough to pass today, especially in clean air. If we get a long enough green flag run where lap traffic becomes a factor, we saw a great battle between Larson and Hamlin yesterday before the competition caution about 40 laps into the run when they were on a little bit older tires working lap traffic, and that's where we could definitely see some passing going on. It's also where we saw passing in the Xfinity Series races was during lap traffic, so it's definitely hard to pass once you get a few laps into the restart, but as the tires start to get older, cars are sliding around a bit more, it's a lot easier to pass on the longer run. We just haven't seen many long runs today because of the 10 cautions. Our longest green flag run was the nearly 50 laps between cautions 8 and 9. Kyle Larson making a pass on Chris Buescher for 7th place on the outside, as Kurt Busch actually was on the 3rd lane up high. Larson had to go to the middle between the slow lap car of Kurt Busch with the damage after his spin earlier on, and then Chris Buescher in the 17. Chase Elliott to the outside of Buescher off turn 2 as well. Will make the pass for 8th, dropping Buescher back again, who again, like I mentioned earlier on, seems to be a little bit better on the short run, and as the run carries on, Buescher tends to drop back in position. And we've had upwards of about 210 or so people, give or take, watching the stream today, so like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Dominic Hadlock, welcome to the stream. Bowman is in 2nd. About a half a second off the race lead of Kyle Busch right now. 76 likes, by the way, on the stream. Our goal is 100. I think we can easily break that. We still have just over 100 laps to go at the Monster Mile this afternoon. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hasn't been able to keep the pace up with both Bowman and Kyle Busch since the restart. He's about 2.9 seconds off the lead, but still comfortably in 3rd. About 0.6 of a second or so ahead of Ross Chastain, and then Truex another 0.7 of a second behind him. In 5th. So again, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ross Chastain, Martin Truex Jr. the top 5. And Bowman's a half a second off the lead of Kyle Busch. And the interval between 1st and 2nd. So far today, with the different track position types of strategies we've seen because of how the cautions have played out so far, we have had 10 different leaders for 14 lead changes. And Hamlin has led the most with 67 laps led, though Kyle Busch is fastly approaching that. He needs to lead another 10 laps to eclipse the most laps led in today's race. Priest is underrated. Yeah, he is in 19th right now in the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing. Qualified in 13th with that race car on Saturday afternoon. And then the only 3 cars out of the race, by the way, are Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, and Austin Cindric. Mechanical failure from McLeod, and then crashes took Cody Ware and Austin Cindric out. Denny Hamlin is still in the race. I did hear somebody say something about that. Hamlin is still in the race and on the lead lap, but he obviously does not have the speed with the damage because he is 18 seconds off the lead in 27th. The only car he has passed since the restart is Austin Dillon. Both the RCR cars have been fairly off on speed today. Reddick has been better than Austin Dillon, but even Reddick hasn't been that great, all things considered. He didn't have much damage after the right front tire came apart earlier on in the race. I would say he really didn't have damage at all. He was actually able to get it to pit road as it was cording away. But he couldn't survive the final 13 laps of the stage. If he would have known that caution was going to come out for Cody Ware spinning, maybe he could have made it another 3 or 4 laps, but it would have been tough. It would have been very risky. At least now he's still on the lead lap and in the race. I'm trying to find where he is position-wise, and I keep missing it. I think he's still in the race. 24th, yeah. Both the RCR cars have been off. Both outside the top 20. It's not like it's a Chevy thing, because obviously the Petty GMS Eric Jones car and even Stenhouse Chevrolet for JTG Doherty Racing are both in the top 6. As well as the Hendrick Chevys obviously running well today. 3 of them in the top 10. The only one that's not in the top 10 is Byron in 15th. But remember, Byron's in a backup car after wrecking in practice as well, so he hadn't had practice like the other 3 guys had, and he's in a completely different car he started the race weekend with. So that's probably why the 24 is well off of the other Chevrolets. And that's going to hurt Byron because he was 3rd in the regular season point standings coming in, and he wasn't that far behind Blaney. I think he was only 8 points behind him for 2nd, but with Blaney winning a stage and Chase Elliott getting at least some stage points today and running in the top 10 right now, he's definitely going to lose points to the top 2. Kyle Busch, who wasn't that far behind him, is currently leading the race and obviously scored a lot of stage points in stage 2. I think he had some in stage 1 if I remember correctly. Also may pass him in the point standings. Will Kyle Busch have a fit if he doesn't win? It depends how he loses. I don't know, the guy that the GGR guys have called a hack in the past or backs in the wins happens to be the guy in second place behind him right now. So I'll just throw that out there, that Busch and Bowman, whether it's been friendly fire or not, have had arguments on Twitter in the last calendar year, and they happen to be first and second place. They haven't done the Fox Crank It Up yet. Once they do, I will definitely let you guys listen to that. I usually do. Pretty equal on speed, though, between Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman since the restart. It's been between 4 to 6 tenths of a second off the lead between the two of them. Yeah, we haven't had a caution in Stage 3 yet, and these guys will have to pit at least one time. We've seen tires come apart on long tire stints of about 70-plus laps, so that might be about when we see drivers pit. If they're going to split the stage in half, they'll have to go about 71 to 72 laps, because we went green with 143 laps to go in this race when the final stage got underway. Two drivers are backed into a win. Yeah, that is coincidental. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the two drivers who quote-unquote back. That's what people say. I like that people do that. At least it keeps them entertained in some way, shape, or form, whether it's, to them in their eyes, good entertainment or bad entertainment. I don't believe in backing into a win. I don't think that that's the right term. I don't say that Bowman backed into his wins last season. I don't say Kyle Busch backed into a win this year as well as Denny Hamlin. They got the win. They passed inspection. They crossed the checkered flag first at the end of the race. They put themselves in that position. They had great races leading up to the point. It wasn't like they were running 15th the whole race, and then they ended up winning, James Buescher style at Daytona 2012 in the Xfinity Series. It wasn't like that. Like, they had good top 5 cars that day, and they put themselves in that position. That's my belief. Chris Perry, welcome to the stream. Is Kyle going to sign with JGR next year? I think so. I don't think he's not going to re-sign with them. I think they'll find a sponsor. I mean, it's Kyle freaking Busch. They'll find somebody. And, I mean, he's on a little bit of a hot streak right now. Again, he's got back-to-back top threes. He had to win 2 races ago, and he's leading a lot of laps right now. Currently, he's led the most laps today at Dover, 73 and counting. Catching heavier lap traffic, about to catch Ty Dillon and Harrison Burton, still managing about 0.6 of a second over Alex Bowman, but both Dillon and Burton are side by side in front of Busch, leaving Kyle Busch nowhere to go off of turn 4, but to stay to the outside and trust Dillon is going to be able to hold his pace for about another half a lap. Dillon finally makes the pass on Harrison Burton. He stays high. Kyle Busch to the bottom, but now Cole Custer and Harrison Burton are side by side in front of Bowman. Bowman gets really tight in the dirty air, goes way up the racetrack and almost into the wall off turn 2, and he's going to fall about 1.2 seconds off the lead of Busch. Lost over half a second of time that last lap. Brad Keselowski still does not look the same. Was as high as 4th, and he has fallen back to 20th now as Blaney working himself up on this long run is up to 19th once he gets around Bubba Wallace to the inside and turns 3 and 4 after taking on fresh tires on the restart. But he only has about 3 lap fresher tires, so it's not the fresh tires that are getting him forward. He's just passing cars that have been outside the top 15 most of the day. Except for Keselowski, like I said, he was in the top 10 at one point in stage 2, but he has fallen way off. Christopher Bell is trying to work himself forward. He was a lap down at one point after making an unscheduled green flag stop with his left rear tire, nearly coming off the race car with a loose lug nut. Makes a pass on Eric Almirola to get back in the top 10. He's currently in 10th place. Larson still in 7th. Chase Elliott got around him a handful of laps ago for 6th. Elliott may be the faster of the Hendrick Chevrolets at this point in the race, excluding perhaps Bowman, of course, who was in 2nd. What's the holdup then? That they can't find a sponsor? If I had to guess, JGR, Joe Gibbs, is probably asking for a lot of money to sponsor Kyle Busch, because Kyle Busch's contract, if he does get re-signed by JGR, is likely going to be bigger because it's Kyle Busch. He's on the top 10 of the NASCAR win list. He's going to be making a lot of money, probably the most money of any driver on an annual basis in NASCAR today. And my guess is the sponsors are willing to sponsor Kyle Busch, but they probably don't want to pay as much as Joe Gibbs is asking for, if I had to guess, because Gibbs is asking for a lot of money so they could take some of that sponsorship money to pay Kyle Busch because his contract's up at the end of the year. So I think that's what the holdup is right now. It's just all contractual negotiations. That is pretty much the basis of what I'm getting out of it. Jasmine, welcome to the stream. Says, go Kyle. I don't know if you mean Larson or Busch. Busch is leading. Larson spun. He's back up to 7. Definitely a lot of cautions have helped Larson and Bell to get back in the top 10. I will say that. But they have the speed to be running there. And even after a mistake by the 20 crew and a mistake on the driver's part of Larson's and that 5 team today, they have gathered it back up. Ross Chastain is up to 3rd, Truex up to 4th, and then Stenhouse has fallen back to 5th over the last 10 laps or so, but Ricky's still holding on in the top 5 for now. About a half a second, maybe a little more than that, ahead of Elliott in 6th. And Bowman, after getting a little tight in lap traffic a few laps ago, is consistently losing time on this long green flag run to start stage 3. 56 laps so far since the restart. Denny Hamlin going to go a lap down in 24th after his damaged car is definitely off the pace right now compared to what it once was when he had arguably the fastest car in the field. But Kyle Busch in the 18 is definitely continuously lapping cars. It was around that 70 lap marker where we saw tires coming apart earlier on in the race. Will it be a one-stop strategy or a two-stop strategy for these teams? As many cautions as we've seen today, I'd probably lean towards one stop. But will there be a tire coming apart before we get to within that tire window to make it to the end of the race as well? Jeff Anthony, welcome to the stream. What happened to the 11? So Cody Ware spun off of turn 4. It was the last accident we've had in this race towards the end of stage 2. Cody Ware was a lap car. Hamlin was in 4th after coming back through the field after having an uncontrolled tire penalty early in stage 2. Still came back up to 4th. Cody Ware spun off turn 4, backed it into Denny Hamlin on the front straightaway when Hamlin tried to gas it up and miss him. Sheared the right side of the car open like a can opener, and Hamlin's got damage on his race car. Aerodynamically, it is costing him in the speed department, and he is now a lap down because of it. Brett Keselowski is the first car lap down in 23rd as Kyle Busch has just gotten around him off of turn 2. And Bowman is still about a second and a half behind race leader Kyle Busch with 95 laps to go at the Monster Mile. Keselowski's struggling with this car as he wiggles again in the middle of turns 1 and 2, catches it, loses even more time. Battle for 3rd between Ross Chastain and Martin Truex Jr. going on right now. Truex is all over the back bumper of the 1. Truex going to the outside in the middle of the corner, trying to get the momentum in the run off the exit of turn 2. Chastain stays to the inside, and here comes Truex. Side by side still, the middle of 3 and 4. Chastain is not going to be able to pull clear. That's going to give the exit to Truex. Beats Chastain back to the throttle. Carries the momentum off the high side. And Martin Truex Jr. is up to 3rd. 2 lap cars, though, right in front of these two that are side by side. So Truex may not get away initially. Chastain's going to continue to try and hound the 19 car and not let him get away from him. One car making a pit stop, it's Kurt Busch. He's got heavy damage. Maybe no need for him to stay out on old tires if he's way out of contention of having a good day at this point. Truex just split 3 wide up the middle between the lap cars of Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick. Chastain trying to do the same as those guys continue to go side by side in the middle of the corner, but they gave enough room for Chastain and Truex to make the passes work in the middle of their respected corners. Bowman have a chance if there's a restart? Well, we still have pit stops yet to go, so I mean, there's a chance. If he pits a lap before Kyle Busch, I think he'll be able to make up enough speed to get around Kyle Busch cycling through pit stops. And with Busch being the leader and Bowman only a second and a half off the lead, I do think that that's possible. So I think that's going to be the strategy call. But how early is too early to pit, though? Knowing that if this does go green to the end, we know that these guys aren't going to be able to go 80 to 90 laps on tires. We've had guys cut tires down already today on 70-lap old tires, like Ty Dillon, Tyler Reddick on a long green flag run and an old tire stint in stage 2. So again, to split the stage in half, they will have to go about 71 to 72 laps per run in the final stage. 16 or more winners this year? I don't think so. There's definitely a lot of drivers who have had a lot of speed this year that haven't won, like Blaney and Elliott firsthand. Even Truex has had speed in some races this year. I think Truex only has one top 5 this year. Looking for a second today. He's ran top 5 all day today. Maybe he could steal a win in this one. Running in third currently. Christopher Bell's on a little bit of a hot streak. He's scored top 10s in 4 of the last 5. Outside of Talladega. In the last 5 races, he's had top 10s. So he's digging himself out of a hole. Trying to think who else doesn't have a win that could definitely get one. We got 2 more super speedways yet. Atlanta in July, and then Daytona is the regular season finale. Briscoe's had speed this year and had a win. Maybe Harvick can end up getting a win at some point. I don't know, though, because that's still going to give us about 13, 14. I just don't see us getting more than 16. I think there will be at least 2 to 3 drivers making it in on points at the end of the year. I say we get 13 or 14 different winners in the regular season. So the 15 car of Ryan Preece hit pit road. Fox is currently on the side-by-side view. We'll take a quick look at the running order right now before green flag pit stops. Kyle Busch is the lead. 9/10 of a second now ahead of Bowman as Bowman is closing in on him with Busch stuck behind side-by-side lap traffic of Ryan Blaney and Chase Briscoe trying to fight to stay in the lead lap. So Busch is getting held up there. Bowman, though, is in second. Martin Truex Jr. is in third. Ross Chastain 4th, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. rounds out the top 5. Chase Elliott in 6th, Christopher Bell 7th, Kyle Larson 8th, Eric Jones 9th, and A.J. Allmendinger rounds out the top 10. Chris Buescher 11th, Eric Almirola 12th, Kevin Harvick 13th, 14th is Michael McDowell, and 15th is Justin Haley. Corey LaJoie 16th, William Byron 17th, Daniel Suarez 18th, 19th is Bubba Wallace, and 20th is Chase Briscoe. He's the last car in the lead lap. Ryan Blaney, first car lap down just moments ago, lost his lap to Kyle Busch, and now Briscoe's a lap down too, by the way. So Briscoe is the first car, 1 lap down in 20th. Blaney 21st, Denny Hamlin 22nd, 23rd is Cole Custer, 24th is Brad Keselowski, 25th Tyler Reddick, 26th is Austin Dillon, Harrison Burton 27th, Preece just hit pit road, he's 28th, 29th is Ty Dillon, and Joey Logano got in an accident earlier, he is in 30th. 31st is Todd Gilliland, Kurt Busch got in an accident, he's 11 laps down in 32nd, Josh Bilicki 33rd, Cody Ware out of the race in 34th, as well as BJ McLeod 35th, and Cindric has been out for over half the race after an accident early on in today's portion of the action. Rounds out the 36-car field. Bowman has now trimmed the lead down to about 0.6 of a second on Busch, as Busch hasn't gotten through the lap traffic quite as well as Bowman. Quickest car on the racetrack right now, though, may be Martin Truex Jr. in third, because that gap is down to less than a second and a half between first and third. Truex ran a lap that last time by 0.3 of a second quicker than Kyle Busch. But we're going to be seeing some pit stops very, very soon. Could be a 3-car race. Of course, this is maybe the home track for Martin Truex Jr., where he got his first career win back in 2007 with DEI in the 1 car. He's a 3-time winner at this racetrack. Ryan Blaney is on pit road for a 4-tire pit stop, gassing it up. Maybe struggling with the right front lug nut on that race car. A.J. Allmendinger is on pit road as well. So these guys are short pitting to hopefully get back on the lead lap. Allmendinger was actually on the lead lap, I believe, still. But Blaney was a lap down barely. By short pitting, he may cycle back onto the lead lap if everything cycles through. So that was the call to bring the 12 team in. Kyle Busch is still on the track. Truex is now only about 9/10 of a second off the lead in third and about 3 to 4 car lengths behind Alex Bowman for second. Who's going to pit first, though, between the top three? More cars on pit road. Eric Almirola, William Byron. I don't think I've seen anybody in the top 10 pit yet. And Kyle Busch, the race leader, is in. He did not want to be the last of the top three. That's going to bring Bowman into pit road. He slides almost into the back of the 18 car as he made the late decision to pit the same lap as the 18. Truex did not. He stays out on the racetrack one extra lap, but Bowman did not want to stay out an extra lap compared to the 18. Caution is out. Caution is out while Busch and Bowman are on pit road. I don't think they're a lap down, though. And they hit the commitment line before the caution had waved. Debris on the racetrack. I think a tire came off of A.J. Allmendinger's number 16 Chevrolet. He was one of the first cars on pit road. And that is the case. So A.J. Allmendinger's right front tires come off of his race car a couple laps after making a green flag pit stop. Allmendinger's back on pit road. That will bring out a caution. Tire bounces into the outside wall. That is the second tire coming off of a car today. And it looks like it almost got hit. Oh, it might have clipped the right rear of the 17. It's a good thing nobody hit that tire, though. Because as fast as they were going, that easily would have launched the tire up over the catchment. So thankfully nobody hit it. So again, waiting word right now on whether Kyle Busch or Alex Bowman were a lap down. I don't believe they were when the caution had come out. They were definitely on pit road past the commitment line when the caution had waved. So I believe they are going to be okay. I don't think they're going to be a lap down. Definitely no penalty. And if they weren't a lap down, they should cycle through as the leaders. Kyle Busch is ahead of Bowman on pit road. Austin Reed, welcome to the stream. The heel Pikachu, welcome to the stream. I can't show the race. I will get copyrighted by Fox. Dylan Pickles. Man, you guys have had a lot of strange last names, uncommon ones in the chat today. I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. I tried to shout everybody out. It's hard when I can't pronounce the name, though. Pickle Slimer, welcome to the stream, though. Regine Huddleston, welcome to the stream. Tender Tunes, welcome to the stream. Adam Smashy. And I think I got everybody so far. So pit stops for everybody who did not make their pit stop under green flag conditions before the caution came out for the tire coming off of the 16 car of A.J. Allmendinger. Ross Chastain wins the race off of pit road, taking 4 tires. And 1 spot lost for the 19 team of Martin Truex Jr. 2 spots lost for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on pit road. Again, Kyle Busch will be the leader on the restart. And second place will be Alex Bowman. They were on pit road when the caution came out. If the caution came out a lap later, they would have been a lap down. So very fortunate timing that the caution came out right when it did. And it came out while they were on pit road before going a lap down. So that's why they're going to cycle to the lead. They were still on the lead lap, and they were across the commitment line, so no pit road penalty when the caution had waved as well. Jacob Klinkenhart, welcome to the stream. How much damage did Kyle Larson get? Not much from his spin earlier in the race. He rallied back to 7th place. He was actually 6th, but Elliott passed him about 20 laps or so before the caution. And it looks like he is in 7th right now. So still waiting on Busch and Bowman on our leaderboard to potentially cycle back to the lead. Fox is under commercial break right now, so I can't really confirm if they were a lap down or not. Still waiting on that. Oop. Okay, yo, welcome to the stream. Let's go, Eric Jones. Yeah, he's been in the top 10 all day. Currently, looks like 8th on our leaderboard. Larson's been in the top 10, top 5 all of stage 3 for Stenhouse. I don't know where Chase Briscoe came from, but he's in 5th all of a sudden. I had a great time at my in-person Bristol race. I've been Bristol on dirt, Bristol All-Star Race 2020, and the Bristol Night Race last year, and I was at the weekend events for Dirt Bristol, so I saw the truck race this year too, and then last year I saw everything from ARCA, Truck, Xfinity, and Cup at Bristol last year. I highly recommend going to Bristol. If you are a NASCAR fan, that is a must. I highly recommend the Bristol Night Race on concrete, but even the dirt race was pretty fun also. But I would recommend the concrete Bristol first. Give me a second. I need to blow my nose first. I don't want to do that into the mic. Alrighty. Looks like 72 laps to go. So, Denny Hamlin got a pit road speeding penalty. He was already a lap down. So it sounds like Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman will have to restart at the rear of the field. So I guess they were not on pit road when the caution came out. I missed the tail end of that. So Ross Chastain will restart from the lead, so it seems like problems. Allmendinger frustrated with his 16 team or something. Silvio Aquino, welcome to the stream. What happened to Kyle Busch? So, Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman, they were on pit road when the caution had come out. I'm thinking that they were a lap down when the caution came out, so they had to take the wave around. Because they're on the lead lap, but at the rear of the field. They're behind the lap cars. And then Chase Briscoe got the free pass, so he is also at the rear of the field. They have a bunch of lap cars to pass, and they only will have 70 laps to go when we go green. Should be able to make it on fuel and tires to the end of the race, and this could be the final restart with 70 to go. It'll be Ross Chastain on the outside and Martin Truex Jr. on the inside. Row 2, Chase Elliott on the outside and Christopher Bell on the inside. Green flag back in the air. Great launch by the one of Chastain as he gets a push from behind from Chase Elliott. Chastain easily clears to the bottom on Truex in the middle of 1 and 2, and Elliott the second getting around Truex as well as the second car in line on the outside. Elliott takes the massive run, takes a peek at Ross Chastain, and then stays in line behind him in the middle of the corner. Stenhouse lifts in the middle of 3 and 4, getting tight behind the 19 of Truex. Jones stays in the gas, trying to get to the outside of Christopher Bell. Can't do it. He battles Larson, who is underneath him right now, for 6th. They're still side by side. Jones will clear Larson, it looks like, off of turn 2, and Larson will have to fall in line behind him on the back straightaway. Jones pulls to the bottom to hold and protect his inside lane on Larson, who sits behind him. So Ross Chastain is the race leader following the restart. Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman, who pitted maybe one lap too early when the caution came out, were a lap down. Had to get the free pass. They are coming from the rear of the field in 15th and 16th. They'll split Joey Logano 3 wide. Logano, remember, has damage from an earlier accident. Bowman on the inside. Busch on the outside. Briscoe as well trying to follow through 3 wide. And it looks like there's a piece of debris on the grill of the 48 car of Alex Bowman. It's going to get up right on the back bumper of the 42 car, and it does not come off. So there's still debris on the grill. Oh, car around. Turns 3 and 4. Daniel Suarez has spun. Everybody will evade around him, and we have a caution. So caution is out. Daniel Suarez has spun, the 11th yellow of the day. So Daniel Suarez has just spun out. Caution is out. Gonna have to see a better look at the replay. He made contact with the 7 car of Corey LaJoie on corner entry into turn 3 and lost control of his number 99 Chevrolet. He was really low. It looked like I don't know. They were racing for 12th. So Suarez was on the inside. It was hard to tell whose fault that really was, though. It didn't look like Suarez overdrove the corner and went wide into the 7 car, but it also didn't really look like the 7 car chopped down on top of the 99 either. I think the 99 entering as flat as he did and the 7 came down. It was a combination, really, of Suarez going up as LaJoie was going down in the middle of the corner. Well, not even the middle of the corner. It was more, like I said, towards corner entry in turn 3, and the contact took the 99 around. Ross wins again. I'm going to lose my mind. Could you imagine if he wins back-to-back? 3 wins in 11 races. Chastain can get it. But yeah, that looked like a racing deal between Chastain and LaJoie. Chastain definitely had the positioning. He was very deep into the corner, though. And like I said, he came up as the 7 was coming down to arc his corner off. That's a great timing caution, though, for Alex Bowman and Kyle Busch in 13th and 15th, as now they will have no lap cars in front of him on the next restart. 64 laps to go. I'm sure everybody's going to stay off of pit road this time. They only have about 5 to 6 green flag laps on their tires. I don't think it's going to be worth pitting. Free pass, I believe, goes to Cole Custer during that caution. So Custer's back on the lead lap. Again, thank you for everybody tuning in right now. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. $90 likes on the stream. Our goal for likes on the stream today is 100. We've had over 250 people watch the stream. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in again today. Definitely smash the like button if you haven't already. And we have had a lot of fun watching this one. Hopefully this isn't going to be cautions breeding cautions to the end of the race. But if it does, it's definitely going to get dramatic. I mean, it could get dramatic regardless, but it's definitely going to get dramatic more and more restarts we get, because the restarts have been wild this afternoon. So 11 cautions total on the day. It looks like we have 18 cars on the lead lap now, with Custer getting the free pass. And it looks like also we are still sitting at 11 different leaders, 17 lead changes in today's race at Dover. Jesse Pugh, welcome to the stream. Again, if you do subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, which I do highly recommend. Again, daily NASCAR content on the channel. Live race commentary for every race on the race weekend that I do not go to in person. The races I'm at in person, live race well, not live, but race highlights from the grandstands will be out on the channel, usually later that night following the race. When I get back to the hotel of wherever I'm at, or Michigan in that case would be my house because that's my home track. As well as NASCAR video game live streams during the week with live realistic commentary, all in the hopes with all this commentary stuff on the channel of one day getting into the booth for real races in NASCAR down the road. That is my dream, and every like and subscribe on every one of these streams goes a long way. Greatly appreciate the support you guys have given me. We are on the road to 2,000 subs as well, and we're getting there. Did we hit 100 likes now? I got to refresh the page. And yeah, 100 likes. Thank you, everybody, for getting me there. Let's keep it going. Let's see if we can get to 150 now. We still have about 60 laps to go. Looks like 62 laps to go on the restart. Ross Chastain again will be on the outside. Chase Elliott on the inside. Now remember, Elliott took the lead from Larson on a restart early in stage 2 on the inside lane. So if anybody can do it, it could be Chase Elliott. Green flag back in the air. Chastain on the outside. Elliott got a great launch again on the bottom, like he did earlier with Larson. In the middle of turns 1 and 2, they are side by side. Chastain trying to hold the 9 of Elliott down on the bottom. Elliott almost clear off of turn number 2. Chastain side drafts him on the backstretch, and into 3 they go still 2 by 2. Stenhouse still battling Truex side by side for third as well. The 9 of Elliott holding strong on the bottom. Chastain on the outside. Chastain not clear yet into turn number 1. Elliott still trying to fight and hold on the bottom lane as Chastain is up high. Door to door off of turn 2. Contact on the backstretch. Chastain runs into the side of 9 of Chase Elliott. And they're still side by side even after the contact. What a battle for the lead between the 1 of Chastain and the 9 of Chase Elliott with 60 laps to go. Chastain a little bit wider this time in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That's going to give him the run off. Elliott not clear yet, nearly making contact to get off turn 2. These guys are on the edge of control as the fans have to be on the edge of their seat. Trouble on the backstretch. We have a caution. Tyler Reddick has gone around hard into the wall with the front of his race car and has bashed the splitter. And it doesn't look like anybody else had contact in the aftermath of Reddick's spin. Not sure who was in the lead when the caution waved between Elliott and Chastain, but they were side by side for an entire 3.5 laps prior to the caution. Roxy Raz, welcome to the stream as well. And side by side between Chastain and Elliott the entirety of that last restart before Reddick spins off of turn 4. He missed the outside wall but ended up compacting the inside wall head on the back straightaway. Flat spotted both the right side tires in the process as well as the left rear. I don't know if he was able to roll away back to pit road or not. Pretty good lick into the inside wall. Hit the nose pretty square head on. That was a great battle between Chastain and Elliott. Elliott has been the best car by far restarting on the inside lane. I think he'll choose the inside again because it looks like Chastain was in the lead at the time of the caution. So Chastain was in the lead at the time of the caution over Chase Elliott. So Ross Chastain will get the restart from the lead. He'll be the driver controlling the restart. It'll be interesting to see if we see pit stops, though, at the same time, too. Now we have close to about 10 laps on our tires between both green flag runs combined, but I just don't think it's going to be wise to lose track position. We'll see if the top cars stay out, how many on back pit. There are only 18 cars on the lead lap. Free pass, I believe, goes to Brad Keselowski in 19th during the caution. Martin Truex Jr. was side-by-side the entire 3.5 laps with Stenhouse as well for that third-place position, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was in 4th. Truex was in 3rd when the caution had come out. And Christopher Bell is in 5th. Yeah, they made contact a little bit off turn 2 one time, and they both kept it off the outside wall, stayed side by side for another couple laps after the contact. They meaning Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott. And we'll be seeing another restart coming up pretty soon. Haven't seen you drink water once this stream. That's because I'm out of water. I'd have to go downstairs and refill it, but I don't want to. We're close to the end. We got 56 laps to go. I drink a lot of water on the daily. I did drink quite a bit this morning when I was at the golf course and when I woke up in the morning. So I take creatine when I work out, so I have to drink a lot of water. I have to drink like 6 to 8 bottles a day, and I think so far today I'm drinking 4. I still have to work out yet too, so I'm sure I'll down another bottle or 2 during that. We will be live later tonight as well. Well, first and foremost, stay tuned for the post-race. You guys will get to hear the driver interviews following the conclusion of this race today. And then we'll have a post-race for about the first half hour after the race is over. But later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as scheduled still, we'll have a NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 live stream, a Busch Series race at Michigan, 125 lapper, 250 miles. So that race will be live on the channel tonight with the same commentary that you are hearing for this race today. So a doubleheader for a Monday with this race getting moved an extra day. More action for you guys on a Monday on the channel. I'm holding in there, though. Don't worry. I'm not going to pass out or anything. Watching this in school, Discord stream is laggy as hell. Hope we have a green-white checker. We could. Bubba Wallace in between him and Kyle. Bowman's ahead of... Oh, yeah. Bowman and Busch were. And, by the way, Bowman got up to 9th before the caution. Kyle Busch in 11th. Before that caution. The more cautions we have, that's going to buy Alex Bowman and Kyle Busch more time to get up to the front of the field. Don't count those 2 out of it yet, especially if we still have more yellows going forward. When we restart, we'll have 53 laps to go. No surprise that Chastain takes the outside, and no surprise that Chase Elliott takes the inside lane for the restart. Truex, again, will be on the outside. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will be on the inside of row 2. Row 3, Eric Jones on the inside, Christopher Bell on the outside. Can you imagine if Stenhouse wins this race, goes like 3 wide on a restart or something? Stenhouse has had a great day. He's been in the top 5 pretty much since the end of Stage 2 on. Even on that long green flag run we had at the beginning of Stage 3, which was the longest green flag run of the race at nearly 80 laps, he was still hanging in 5th place. By far the best run that team has had this year. He was 31st in points coming into the day today. Penske overall struggling today. Yes, they are. Ryan Blaney was right around 10th, but he pitted before the caution came out, so he got trapped a lap down. That's why he's in 26th. Well, when he was he lost track position after staying out to lead and win Stage 2, and from then on, he's pretty much been back in traffic. Green flag back in the air. Chastain did not get a great launch as Elliott did on the bottom again, and Chase Elliott is clear off of turn 2. Stenhouse to the inside of Ross Chastain for 2nd place now as Truex did not take off well in 4th. Stenhouse drives it in deep. He runs the 1 car up the track. The 1 wiggles a little bit as they nearly make contact. This is going to allow Chase Elliott to pull away a little bit more on the front straightaway. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to have to fall in line behind Chastain in 3rd off the exit of turn 2. Oh, no, not quite. He nearly gets into him. I thought for a second he was just going to give up and drive in line behind Chastain, but Spoke a little bit too soon. Holding tight off of turn 4 between the two, door to door again. Truex is all over the back of both of them. Off the exit of turn 2, Stenhouse is clear for second place. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. up to P2. What a battle. I thought it was over a lap before it was. And he got around Ross Chastain to lose his 2 spots on the restart after being the controlled car in the preferred lane. But Chase Elliott had a great launch on the inside. Stenhouse followed him, and Chase Elliott leads by about 0.7 of a second over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I am shocked at Ricky Stenhouse today, and he was a 10th quicker that last lap than Chase Elliott. Pretty equal that last lap between Stenhouse and Elliott now, 49 laps to go. I'm kind of pulling for Ricky, I'm not going to lie. This is insane. This is one of the better races of his career, let alone of the season. He's never won on a non-super speedway. His only 2 career wins were in 2017, both at Daytona and Talladega. The summer race at Daytona that year, his first career win was the Geico 500 at Talladega in 2017. And both with Roush Fenway Racing in the 17 car. JTT Jordy Racing has not gone to victory lane since AJ Allmendinger got their lone win for the team back in 2014 at Watkins Glen. But it's Chase Elliott, the lone Hendrick Chevrolet, who has not won this year, and the current points leader coming into the race today, and would likely lead the points leader following today's race, considering Blaney got held a lap down with the caution in the middle of green flag pit stops. Elliott about a 10th quicker than Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that last lap, and the lead's right back to about 7 to 8 of a second now between the top 2 again, with 46 laps to go. So again, the current running order, Chase Elliott leads by 0.7 of a second over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ross Chastain's in 3rd, Martin Truex Jr. 4th, and Christopher Bell rounds out the top 5. Eric Jones in 6th, Kyle Larson 7th, 8th is Alex Bowman, 9th is Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch rounds out the top 10. Bubba Wallace is in 11th, Justin Haley in 12th, 13th is Kevin Harvick, 14th is Daniel Suarez, 15th is Cole Custer. Chase Briscoe is in 16th, 17th is Michael McDowell, and Corey LaJoie is the last car in the lead lap in 18th. Everybody that is a lap down likely got trapped a lap down because of pitting in the middle of green flag pit stops, and the caution came out untimely for them. Eric Almirola is 19th, Brett Keselowski in 20th, Ryan Preece 21st, William Byron 22nd. Denny Hamlin had damage from an earlier accident with Cody Ware in 23rd, Austin Dillon 24th, Harrison Burton 25th, and Ryan Blaney, who won stage 2, is 26th. 2 laps down, in fact. Ty Gillen is 27, 3 laps down, so is Ty Dillon in 28th. Joey Logano has damage in 29th. 30th is Tyler Reddick, 4 laps down after having a tire come apart earlier, and he's another lap down, so Reddick's off the pace all of a sudden right now. Kurt Busch is in 31st, 10 laps down after an incident as well after contact with AJ Allmendinger. Josh Bilicki's in 32nd. And then Allmendinger's out of the race in 33rd. Cody Ware out in 34th. BJ McLeod 35th. And Cindric will end up with the last place finish today. Our Daytona 500 winner this season in 36th. He had spun and backed into the wall earlier in today's portion of the race this weekend at Dover. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in second place, 1.1 seconds off the lead. He's not able to quite keep the pace that Chase Elliott in the 9 has had since the restart. Chase Elliott has been the restart machine in this race. The fact that he took the lead from Larson back in stage number 1 earlier today on a restart on the inside lane, then was able to do it again on this most recent restart, and even holding on the inside of Chastain the restart before that side-by-side for about 3.5 laps before a caution for Tyler Reddick spinning. Elliott's had a top 5 car. He was my pick to win today's race, and he is leading now with 40 laps to go. I will say Chase Elliott at plus 570 to 1 odds. I had my money on him this weekend. I was confident that he would go to victory lane today, and I'm kind of hoping for that sake alone that he ends up going to victory lane again today, but we'll see. Still got a little bit of a ways to go. We've had a lot of cautions in today's race so far, sitting at 12 cautions. And we've had a few of them in the final stage, in the final 80 laps. What happened to Hamlin to get that far down? Yeah, so Cody Ware spun off turn 4, well, actually it was late in stage 2 with a few laps to go in the second stage. Spun off turn 4, backed into the wall, and then started backing down the racetrack in front of Denny Hamlin. Hamlin tried to miss him to the inside and then sheared the right side of Hamlin's race car with the back of the 51 like a can opener, and Hamlin's had damage ever since. He was running in 4th at the time after a comeback from an uncontrolled tire penalty during the stage 1 break. I like models 8988. Welcome to the stream. First time attending NASCAR track at Dover. Rained out Saturday. Got rain. Oh man, that stinks for you. I've been at a couple rain days. Luckily, they've been within 4-hour drives that I was able to stay on Monday, still get back home by Monday night to go to work Tuesday. Thankful it hasn't happened to me for more than a 4-hour drive, and my weekends are Sunday, Monday at work, so it works out. But I feel for you. Thanks for tuning in, though. Kentucky Derby Saturday. That's right. It's usually, the first Saturday of May? Usually. Maybe I should put money on a horse this year. I usually don't. I don't know enough about horse racing, to be completely honest. 34 laps to go. Nearly 300 people watching right now. Again, thank you for everybody tuning in. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. about a tenth of a second quicker than Chase Elliott that last lap. He was about 1.3 seconds off the lead. And now another tenth quicker this lap, down to 1.1 seconds off the lead. Does Stenhouse have anything for Chase Elliott in these final 33 laps? And if he does, you know he is going to go full send mode, looking for his first win in nearly 5 seasons. If he makes it in the middle of summer this year, it's going to be 5 years since Stenhouse's last win in the Cup Series. Bubba Wallace just made a pass on Kevin Harvick for 11th place. Wallace is about 3 seconds behind Kyle Busch. It's going to be tough to run him down knowing how fast Busch has been today to get the top 10, so he may need another caution to help him do so if he gets a good restart. Daniel Suarez battling Chase Briscoe for position. Suarez has had a great recovery today. He spun out early in the stage and still in 15th. He was running outside the top 20 most of the day. He hasn't been nearly as fast as his teammate Chastain, who has led laps and has been in the top 5 more often than not in today's race at Dover, but Daniel Suarez back inside the top 15, a lot better than what it was looking for him when he was running 20th to 25th most of the afternoon. FG Racing 0610, welcome to the stream. Why is Blaney 2 laps down? He pit in the middle of green flag pit stops and a caution came out. The 16 car of AJ Allmendinger's right front tire had come off the race car when he had cycled off of green flag pit stops, and that was the cause of the caution. So Blaney, Almirola, Ryan Preece, I know, pitted. Byron pitted. So those guys are a lap down because of that. Blaney happened to be 2 down. And then drivers like Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Harrison Burton, those guys were already a lap down. Hamlin as well. Briscoe making a pass on Wallace for 13th rather. Haley got around Wallace a couple laps ago as well as Harvick. So very interesting what's going on with the 23 car. He made a pass on Kevin Harvick for 11th a few laps ago, and now all of a sudden he's back to 14th. It looks like Suarez is trying to get around him for position as well. Alex Bowman running the outside gets a massive run on the 43 car of Eric Jones to make the pass for 6th place middle of the back straightaway. Jones is not far below the cutoff line in the playoffs coming into this race today after a great point stay and a 6th place finish at Talladega a week ago. May have a chance to point his way in to the playoffs, at least as they run following today's race with running in the top 10, scoring stage points today, and now currently in 7th with just 27 laps to go. Stenhouse is back to about 1.5 seconds off the lead from Elliott. It seems like Elliott's getting through the lap cars a little bit quicker than Stenhouse. They were a little bit on more the even side of speed before that. Even though Elliott seems to be more consistent with his lap times than Stenhouse. Larson also going to get around Eric Jones on the outside, and Kyle Busch will likely soon follow to get up to 8th himself on Eric Jones as he's within a few car lengths behind the 43 car. 25 to go now for Chase Elliott. Still a 1.4 second lead. Elliott's rounding the bottom all the way around, and so is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So Martin Truex Jr. ran about 1/10 of a second quicker than Elliott that last lap, but he is in 4th place. So not only he's 2.5 seconds off the lead with just 24 to go at a 1 mile pretty much short track, but he's also got a couple cars to pass for position that will not pull over lately, knowing that if we get a late race restart, they're going to want to be as high up in the running order as possible. Not including the caution laps that were ran with the last 2 yellows, these guys are probably going to go between 50 and 60 laps on their tires. We haven't seen any tires come apart in that kind of a tire stint today. It's typically been in the 70-plus lap mark, but I guess you never know, especially with drivers pushing as hard now as maybe they have all day long, knowing that we are in the closing portion of the race. Eric Almirola trying to go 3 wide up the middle between Daniel Suarez and Cole Custer. I don't know if he's going to be able to make this work, but they are still 3 wide into turn 1. Custer maybe going to back out, let his teammate go in the 10 car. Almirola will clear the 41 and trying to clear the 99. Almirola is actually the first car 1 lap down right now, racing Brad Keselowski for the free pass position if we do get another late race yellow. Keselowski is just a few cars behind him as Brad tries to go to the outside. But he still has the 41, the 11, and the 99 in front of him, though Almirola still on the inside of Suarez in the 99. Stenhouse a little bit quicker than Elliott again the last 2 laps, and the lead's cut down to 1.3 seconds. So kind of fluctuating back and forth between 1.1 seconds off the lead to 1.5 seconds off the lead in recent laps. Some laps Stenhouse is quicker than Elliott, but for the most part, Elliott's just a bit quicker than Stenhouse. Really depends on where Elliott catches the lap cars as well compared to Stenhouse. And every lap car that Elliott passes, Stenhouse will have to pass those same cars as well. So even though he may gain time, he could end up actually losing more time just after that fact. JTG Doherty Racing dropped to a single car team this offseason with Ryan Preece now in the SHR development program and running part-time in all 3 series this season, including the Cup Series for Rick Ware Racing, as Preece was in the field today. He was in the top 20 most of the day, but ended up getting trapped a lap down. He was one of the first cars to hit pit road during green flag pit stops. Stenhouse got held up a little bit by those lap cars that Elliott had passed a few laps before him, and Ross Chastain and Martin Truex Jr. now have closed the gap to Stenhouse for second. So even though the battle for the lead is not as tight, the battle for second is increasing with just 17 laps to go. Again, if you get a caution, you want to be that second place car to at least have a shot on the restart. We saw Elliott be able to take the lead multiple times on the inside, so it's not impossible. And I almost wonder if Elliott would elect the inside, knowing how much success he's had down there on the restarts. But if he can't clear, it's going to be hard to hold the outside car off. $15 to go this time by. 2-second lead now for Stenhouse. Ross Chastain and Martin Truex Jr. are battling so hard for 3rd place right now. They were side by side for a couple laps that they've even lost the 47 of Stenhouse now, as they are about a half a second plus behind the 47. Chastain was able to fend off the 19 of Truex to hang on to the 3rd place position. Christopher Bell quietly in fifth after coming back from a lap down earlier in the race as well with a tire that was coming loose on him after a restart at the beginning of stage 2. Denny Hamlin is up to 19th. He's in the free pass position after just getting around Eric Almirola for the time being. Corey LaJoie is about to go a lap down, though, to Chase Elliott. Truex caught Ty Dillon in a pretty bad spot, lost a bit more ground behind Ross Chastain. Still within 2 to 3 car lengths of the one car for third. And still about a half a second gap between Stenhouse and Chastain in the battle for second. Corey LaJoie on the outside, about to go a lap down. And Chase Elliott will clear him off of turn 2. Big run for Truex on the backstretch. Nothing doing for him into turn 3 with the one of Ross Chastain right in front of him. Chastain to the middle groove, trying to maybe take the line away of Martin Truex Jr. Went a little bit higher than him in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Nathan Elliott, welcome to the stream. Hendrick Motorsports will win. We'll see. Looking comfortable right now. 2.3 second lead for Chase Elliott with 11 to go. Martin Truex Jr. loses a little bit more ground in turns 3 and 4, trying to go to the outside. Chastain didn't try to take his line away to the middle that time and rounded the bottom out near the apron all the way through. Christopher Bell is slowly closing in on the 19 and the 1 as they continue to battle for third. When I said Martin Truex Jr. had one top 5 on the season this year, he's actually got 2 of them. I forgot he had a top 5 at Talladega last week, finished in the 5th place position. So he's looking for his third top 5 today as he currently sits in 4th and is going to continue to work on Chastain for third, likely to the checkered flag of this race. If it stays green to the end, it is going to be a green flag run of about 43 laps. The third longest green flag run of the race today. So we've had 12 cautions for incidents so far. 2.5 seconds still is the gap between first and second. Chastain's pulled away from Truex over the last couple laps. I wonder if Truex has maybe used a little bit too much of his tires trying to get around the one car, and he's starting to fade a little bit. Now just a couple car lengths ahead of Christopher Bell. A little bit heavier lap traffic in front of Chase Elliott, running side by side in front of him right now. Ryan Blaney, Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace. Blaney pulls up out of the way for the 9. I'm sure McDowell and Wallace will do the same. McDowell and Wallace are one of the last cars on the lead lap. Elliott to the inside of McDowell. Stenhouse now 2 seconds off the race lead. 1.9 back as Elliott will clear the 34 of McDowell. Stenhouse now 1.8 seconds off the lead. 5 laps to go. Stenhouse is pushing as hard as he can right now, but he's going to have to get around both Blaney as well as Michael McDowell. Kyle Busch making a pass for 7th place on Kyle Larson. Looked like he completed it off of turn 2. Larson trying to maybe a little slide job through 3 and 4. Not going to be able to complete the pass, and Busch will have the momentum off the top to hang on to 7th place. Larson again to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Bubba Wallace on the outside lane. Chase Elliott will put Bubba a lap down off of turn 4. 3 laps to go for Chase Elliott. A 1.8 second lead over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Elliott just looking to get to the white flag now. That will signify that the next flag would end the race, whether it is a yellow or the checker. Stenhouse put up a fight today, but it looks like he's going to come up just a bit short. 2 more laps for Chase Elliott. 1.9 seconds now. Elliott about a tenth quicker than Stenhouse this last lap. Chastain and Truex within 0.2 of a second again of each other for third. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Chase Elliott looking for a second career win at Dover. He was my win pick this weekend. Came in as the second best odds according to Vegas. Was the only Hendrick Chevrolet without a win this year. He is the points leader. He's been the most consistent driver, but now he will lock himself for sure into the playoffs. Chase Elliott is a winner at Dover, and we have a caution on the final lap. Martin Truex Jr. has blown a tire. So Chase Elliott wins. The caution came out off turn 4 as Martin Truex Jr. got into the wall while running in 4th place. So Truex looked like off of turn 2, Chastain got into the back of the one of Chastain pulled over the block on Truex off turn 2. Truex got into the back of the one and then lost control on the back straightaway after the contact. And Martin Truex Jr. ended up in the inside retaining wall going into turn 3. So Chase Elliott wins. Truex wrecks after Chastain threw a block on him on the back straightaway for third. And Martin Truex Jr. is going to end up finishing in 12th place by the time he regathered his race car and raced back to the checkered flag. Chase Elliott going to burn it down. All post-race interviews you will hear live on the channel for our post-race show, so don't go anywhere. And we will also recap the full finishing running order following the interview with the top finishers. We'll check out the fantasy team to see how they did today, and check out the fantasy league as well. You can join the fantasy league on the NASCAR mobile app or website. Search for KRC League, KRC in all caps, capital L on League. If you win the regular season or playoff championship, you get a chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race if you're choosing in 2023. So definitely want to join in on that one. Everybody qualifies for the playoffs, so even though you can't win the regular season title, you can practice up for when the playoffs come around, a chance to win 2 tickets. And you do have to be a subscriber of the channel as well as be in the league if you do win it. So definitely subscribe. Hit that like button as well. 111 likes on the stream right now. Over 360 people watching at the end of the race. We do these live commentary races every week for the NASCAR Cup Series and then sometimes for the Xfinity and truck races as well, depending on how my work schedule goes and what time those races are on Friday and Saturday events. But Jamie Little standing next to Chase Elliott. Here is your race winner today at Dover.
I talked to Alan Gustafson this morning. He said, we're not very good. We weren't very good yesterday. What did you two together do to this car to be so dominant the second half of this race and finally get back to victory lane?
Yeah, just had some good circumstances finally. Just really appreciate Alan and our entire team for just sticking with it. You know, we've had some tough races over the last, 4 or 5 months, and just great to get Napa back to victory lane. Great to get Hendrick Motorsports back to victory lane. Just so proud. This one means a lot in a lot of different ways, but just appreciate all the effort. Watch out, we're rolling. But thanks to all the fans for coming out. You're always awesome. Hope to see this big crowd here next year, but just a huge thanks to everybody involved. It's been a fun day, and we're certainly going to enjoy it. Like I told them after the race, those guys, they've been deserving of one for a while, so glad we can get across the line first, and we'll enjoy it for a few days and go to work next week.
There's that Chase Elliott smile we haven't seen in a while. He goes back to victory lane for the first time this season.
Martin Truex Jr. had some choice words with Ross Chastain as they seem to be arguing in the pits. Nothing escalated. Truex is a pretty class act for the most part, so you wouldn't expect that out of him, but definitely wanted to confront Chastain for his bad block on the backstretch. Well, not even battling for the win, but battling for third. Here's Regan Smith with second-place finisher Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Our short track program's been off, and then all of our other good races that we've had good runs going, something's always happened. So really good to put this all together. We had a brand new partner, the Frozen Farmer. They're from 40 minutes down the road. The whole family's here. So it was a really great day for us. I felt like, we had a car capable of winning, obviously getting off pit road, at different times. But Pit Guru did a great job keeping us up front all day, and this feels good. Hopefully we can carry this momentum, on, the big tracks. The tracks we got coming forward are really good tracks for us. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of battling. It's tough to pass, but it was fun running through lap traffic, and I really wish we had like a 70-lap run to end there. But all in all, our Kroger team's doing a great job, and looking forward to carry that momentum on.
Thanks, Ricky. Nice job.
Margin of victory about 2.5 seconds when that caution had actually come out. So it might have been a little closer than that. Stenhouse was about 1.8 seconds off the lead on the final lap, but the caution for Martin Truex Jr. spinning into the inside wall off of turn 3 had actually ended the race. That was the 13th caution of the race. It happened as Elliott was making his way off of turn 4 to the checkered flag. But either way, Chase Elliott is a winner. For the first time this Cup Series season, he is the 9th different winner in the first 11 Cup Series races. I would assume we're probably going to get an interview from Martin Truex Jr. and Ross Chastain yet, so listen in on that before give the rundown of today's finishing results. And here's Jamie Little with Ross Chastain.
Third, but you could not shake the 19. What did you guys say to each other there?
We were talking about where we're going to go fishing next week. No, super proud of this effort. I mean, I thought we were a 5th place car, and a couple guys had misfortune with the caution coming out, and that cycled us to the lead. And pit crew was incredible today. They were just picking up spots every stop and got us the lead. And I'm racing with champions, and I got beat.
Mike?
Quite a day here in Dover.
So a little bit of tempers at the end of this race, at least between Martin Truex Jr. and Ross Chastain, but Chase Elliott will go on to win this one. Fox going to a commercial break. Not sure if they're going to get an interview in with Truex. I believe there is another program coming on Fox Sports 1 here very shortly. Of course, with this race going to a Monday, so probably not going to get as many driver interviews going forward for today. Chase Elliott gets the win. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. ends up in 2nd. Ross Chastain 3rd. Christopher Bell finishes 4th. Alex Bowman rounds out the top 5. Kyle Larson in 6th, Kyle Busch 7th, Chris Buescher 8th, Kevin Harvick 9th, and Eric Jones rounds out the top 10. Justin Haley ends up finishing in 11th. Martin Truex Jr. after spinning on that last lap ends up 12th. He was running in 4th. Chase Briscoe in 13th, Daniel Suarez 14th, and Cole Custer rounds out the top 15. He was the last car in the lead lap. Bubba Wallace, first car, 1 lap down in 16th. Michael McDowell 17th, Corey LaJoie 18th. 19th was Eric Almirola, and Brad Keselowski rounds out the top 20. Denny Hamlin 21st, 22nd was William Byron, Austin Dillon 23rd, Harrison Burton 24th, Ryan Preece 25th, Ryan Blaney 26th, Ty Dillon 27th, Ty Gillen 28th, 29th was Joey Logano, and 30th was Tyler Reddick. Kurt Busch 31st, Josh Bilicki 32nd, 33rd was AJ Allmendinger, 34th Cody Ware, BJ McLeod 35th, and Austin Cindric rounds out the field in 36th in today's race. Again, 13 cautions in this one today, and it looks like we had a grand total of 10 different leaders for approximately 19 lead changes, if I counted correctly on that. And this race finishes with a caution on the final lap off of turn 4. Martin Truex Jr. again getting blocked for 3rd place. Off of turn 2, down the back stretch, he lost control, battling Chastain for 3rd at the finish of that one. Our spotlight drivers for the race today, based off of the predictions from yesterday's portion of the live stream. Of course, this race again got rained out from yesterday to today. 79 laps were completed. Yesterday, I predicted Chase Elliott to go to victory lane. For the first time this year, I predicted a winner correctly and get a little extra payday from Vegas, it looks like, as well. So thank goodness there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., my other Martin Truex Jr. was my other must-have pick. I guess I was wrong with him because he ended up finishing 12th. I said that he was, at least for the must-haves, they have to at least get top 10 finishes for me to get right there. He was in the top 5 all day, top 5 at the end of the first 2 stages, but unfortunately finished 12th after the contact with Chastain in the final lap with a half a lap to go when losing control, so I guess I was wrong there. 1-1 on the must-have picks, but I got an extra bonus point, I guess, for Chase Elliott getting the win, so 2-1 there this week on the must-haves. And as far as the sleeper picks this weekend, I had Daniel Suarez, Tyler Reddick. They both were not good. Suarez did get 14th. He rallied from back at, 26th, I think he was at one point. He actually spun at one point in the race as well. Tyler Reddick had a right front tire go down earlier in the race. costed him multiple laps. He ends up finishing back in 30th. He had some sort of another issue further after the tire got cut down midway through stage 3, so he ended up 30th, so 0 for 2 in the sleeper picks this week. And the don't have picks, I had both RFK cars of Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski not having top 10s despite looking fast in practice and qualifying based off of Dover's success for them. I was right on Keselowski. He ended up really fading in the second half of the race and finished in 20th. And Chris Buescher hung on for an 8th place finish after qualifying on the pole. That's his first career top 10 at Dover. So 1 for 2 on the don't have picks this week. So overall, I think I went 3 for 4. So below 500. We'll see how that fantasy team ended up faring out for me this week. So we'll go into the fantasy portion of this one. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. If you do join the fantasy league, again, chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race of your choosing in 2023, excluding the Daytona 500. If you do win the regular season or the playoff championship, you'll get to see the league very quickly here. It is the KRC League. KRC in all caps, capital L on league. Right here. And here is my team for this week. Yeah, I meant to. So Ross Chastain was in my garage. I kind of forgot to set my lineup again. Between Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, all finished in the top 10 except for Suarez. Well, and then I guess Truex ended up 12th, but he scored a lot of stage points. It wasn't a bad day, I guess, for Truex. Just not the finish he necessarily deserved. And then Ross Chastain, if I would have had him in my lineup, which I had the chance to switch him out. When I do these live streams, I forget about it sometimes, and I seem to forget this time. So unfortunately, Ross Chastain was in my garage, even though I could have had him there. And as far as bonus points go, I picked Larson over Chastain. Chastain was higher, so didn't get that. I picked Bowman over Byron. Bowman got me some bonus points. Picked Truex over Harvick. Truex spun on the last lap. Harvick got a top 10, so I was wrong there. So it looks like I got 20 bonus points because then I had Elliott ahead of Reddick and picked Elliott to win the race. So not bad. And as far as the rest of the finishers in the league, Cottonelle is, you can see on the right side of the screen. I'll put it on the top right. So the top right of the screen is this week's standings. Dark Crypto is your Dover winner in the league with 228 points this week. Second place was EC23 with 211. I was in third with 207 points. Jordan 1199 ends up with 202 points in fourth. And then Tim Irvin, Super B-Man 1, ends up fifth with 201 points this week. Rounding out the top 5 in this week's standings. And as far as points, I had first, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And 15th as well. Could have had Chastain. I could have been in bigger points week. That was my fault, though. I wasn't paying attention at the end of stage 2. It's hard to... I'm already multitasking as it is between looking at the chat, giving you guys the live commentary, so when I forget my fantasy lineup like I did middle of the race, that costed me. But that's okay. I picked Chase Elliott to win. 570... plus 570 odds, so got me some money there. First race winner correct of the season. Check the overall standings. This is not going to be updated. Oh, sorry. The league standings. League standings will not be updated until after post-race inspection in case anybody fails inspection later. But going into the week, Inside Uranus was leading. He was the regular season champ last year. He has 1,923 points going into this week. And then Sauce Mafia and Austin Dillon fan was in second with 1,837 points. P-Shab Motorsports was in third with 1,810 points. Justin Haley fan was in fourth with 1,754. And EC23 was 1,753. Rounded out the top 5. I was in ninth in points coming into the week. Should jump up with a third place finish. And I had 1,684 going into this week. Still have 15 races left in the regular season for that regular season championship award. And again, thank you for everybody. Mr. Roller Coasters. See you, Cam Dan 511. Welcome to the stream. Chris Davis. Dan Bartlett. David Cormier. Bodine Bogdan. Moro Calderon. Brandon B. Lost Knowledge. Welcome everybody to the stream. I don't know how many of you guys are still here. I tried to shout as many out as possible, but we had a long green flag run at the end of the race. Ethan, I saw you pop back in the chat. Lucas, welcome to the stream. Justin Gonzalez, thank you for tuning in. And I think I may have gotten all of them. Sorry if I missed any of you guys that were tuning in there in that final green flag stretch to the end of the race. Again, congratulations to Chase Elliott getting his first win of the season. And again, rounding things out tonight, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We hit our goal of 100 likes on today's stream. We didn't have the full race today, and it was a Monday race. Great for you guys showing out. I think this is the third highest viewed live stream on the channel today, only behind the Las Vegas Cup race this year, as well as the Phoenix Cup race from earlier this season. So greatly appreciate you guys tuning in on this Monday afternoon. Whether from home, work, or school, wherever you may be, thank you so much for giving me the support. We're on the road to 2,000 subs, very close to that. And then we are also obviously on the road to becoming a NASCAR commentator down the road. This helps a ton, especially when the streams pop off like this one did again today. So thank you, everybody. We'll be back at it again next Sunday at Darlington, so you won't want to miss that for the Mother's Day throwback race. Have as much throwback knowledge as possible for next week's race when the Darlington race ends up coming upon us. So tune in for that. Our next live stream is actually going to be later tonight because of this race getting moved to Monday. We still will stream on the NASCAR video game side later tonight as planned, with being off of work today especially. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the start of that one. It'll be NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 at Michigan, Busch Series race there. The live realistic commentary you heard and saw today, that will be on the video game side later tonight. We do that during the week as filler leading up to the race weekend when we do the live race commentary on the race weekend. So doing commentary pretty much every day, NASCAR oriented on the channel, as well as other videos, of course, along the way as well. Race highlight videos on the races I go to in person. That's all the stuff we have here on the channel and more. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in today. Greatly appreciate the support. Hopefully you enjoyed today's live stream and today's live commentary as well as the race itself. And I will see you guys tonight and maybe for some of you next weekend at Darlington. Appreciate it again. Thank you and have a good rest of your Monday afternoon.